giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
All right. Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Sorry for the slight delay, but we do want to thank you for joining us for another live class with the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. I'm Priest Quatazab. We're located at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77071. Class times are Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., Friday 6 to 9 p.m., which is today, and we have our Saturday morning Shabbat class from 10 to 2, okay? If you're local in Houston, please join us. We also have classes in San Antonio, Texas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Austin, Texas. So if you're in those areas and you want to have class or join class, please hit us up and we'll get you the information. All right, you can hit me up directly, 303-557-8979. Please text only during class. You can hit up Priest Kazakia at 281-707-2737. Okay? Every Sunday we have our kids class. They're pre-recorded and then they're uploaded to our ISBHPK Kids channel. That's every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. here live at the school. So if you're, again, local and you want your child to participate in the knowledge, bring them on through. We have different levels of class for different age groups. What's the youngest we got? 4? 5? Yeah, the youngest we got is 5. The oldest is 15. So if you got a child that needs to learn, they get to learn a lot of their forefathers. Last week they went over, what'd you guys go over? All the different men in the Bible, like they were just important people, right? Yes. So, yeah, you know, so that way, you know, they get homework, they get all that. They gotta go home and read. It gets them to be able to have to go home and read their scriptures. And like, for instance, my daughter, she has to learn about Joseph, right? It's Joseph, no, Jacob, right? So basically she has to read, to learn all about Jacob. You gotta read from Genesis 25 all the way to Genesis 49. Yeah, because Jacob is in all those books, right? It starts at Genesis 25, Esau and Jacob. It goes all the way to 49. So it's a lot of reading, but it's important for them to know their history. You know, the amount of time they spend on Facebook and video games and phones and social media, they can give that much more diligence to their actual true history. Fortnite video, yeah, whatever. I don't even know what Fortnite is, but kind of. It's a game, Dad. See, my son, 5, knows what Fortnite is. It's a game, Dad. I don't know, but he knows. It's a fun game. Con, son. So, yeah, it's very good. If you got children, bring them on through, and we'll get them situated. Once again, you're checking us out here live on YouTube, live on Facebook. The YouTube is ISBHBK. All right, for the live class, we have another channel, the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, that has some of our older classes. That was our YouTube channel that they shut down. They don't like the material that we bringing out. You know, we're destroying that homosexual agenda. So they figured they wanted to point out one of our videos that was targeting that and shut us down for a little bit. They put us on suspension, so we can't upload, we can't record. So we're on our secondary channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We also have our 5 minutes of wisdom. So make sure y'all get that out. Like, share, subscribe. We have the ISBHBK Kids channel. So we got about 4 channels, all right? Also look out for the Hidden Truth Cable Show every Saturday at 8:30 on Comcast Local Channel 17, or you can stream it live on hmstv.org. Got a new season coming up. We already got our first video out, which is dealing with the tribe of Issachar. being the so-called Mexicans. I know y'all been waiting on it. Just a little bit more patience, a few more days. Gonna have that birthday class on and popping. All right, couple more days. Yeah, we should have that. Hopefully by the end of next week, we should have that done. All right. We got brothers out in Arizona. Okay, they're working at the Arizona State Fair. They're out of there on Monday. So if you want to meet up with brothers, their last day out there is Monday. So if you want any class or anything like that, you know, hit us up. We got sisters selling hot plates on Saturday. This Saturday coming up after class. Raise money for the school. All right, we're trying to, you know, get it painted and do some different things in the school. Move some walls, move some AC units. You know, we're trying to get a new building, but it's not looking like it's gonna happen. So we just gotta try to make do with what we have. So we were trying to raise money to get some things reorganized in the school, space-wise. So if you want to contribute to that, come on down after class and get you a plate. Also, the brothers got a business in the First Colony Mall in Sugar Land, Texas. If you're, again, local in the area, hit us up, come check us out. Or if you like the oils, you wear the oils, you want to support, you can hit us up on Facebook at American Eastern Oils, and we can get you set up that way. We'll ship things out to you. We got clientele on all 50 states, man, so get with us. Blog Talk Radio, that's every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, starting at 9:30. Brought to you by the brother Mashaba out in Albuquerque. It's blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba, M-A-S-H-A-B-A, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, okay? If you need any garments made, you can go on Facebook, search Israel Wear, one word, Israel Wear. Get armbands, headbands, shirts, pants, whatever you need, pocketbooks. The sisters, they got skills. They're talented. They get it all done. Anything you want custom made, they'll do it. They'll put your Hebrew name in it, all that. Hit us up on Facebook at Israel Wear. If you have any questions, you can email us at isbhbk@isbhbk.org for any emails. And for your donations, any form of contribution is welcome and needed. Books, pens, papers, cars, clothes, canned goods, anything that we can distribute to the homeless. We got a lot of, in the area that we're in, as far as the school, a lot of drugs, a lot of homeless people. They come knocking. So we try to make sure that we keep the back room stocked with, you know, like the bare essentials, you know, food and things like that. But you know, they come, and when they come, we give it to them. We don't discriminate. So if you can help out with that, and then any monetary donations, you could, you know, the Wells Fargo account should put it up. The Google Wallet. We thank everybody that's been giving for the vow. We definitely appreciate it. That's going a long way. So yeah, all those that have been given, man, we appreciate it. That's going to be it for the announcements. We're going to try to take questions. I know, sis, you had a question?
Okay.
What's that question? Re-ask your question.
The other day, my dad asked me if I voted.
Right.
And so I was curious on what the scriptures say about voting.
Right. So basically, the you know, yeah, and you said it earlier. Right now, it's like voting season.
Yeah.
What is it like? I don't even know what we in. Were you voting for like congressmen or something like that? Is that what that's going on right now?
I think so, kind of.
Where they're registering everybody and get your vote on, and so do we vote as Israelite men and women? Do we vote?
Huh.
Well, let's go to Deuteronomy 17 and 15.
Gone.
The answer is no, we don't. The answer is no, we don't. I mean, you gotta think about it like this, man. What did what did Obama ever do in his 8 years? you got Judah that, oh, I voted for Obama because he's black. The first black president. Blah, 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 right? What did Obama do for the so-called black man? Or the so-called Hispanic man?
Absolutely nothing.
No, he did something. He made it legal for you to go marry another man.
And your pet.
And your pet and animals. He made it legal for some foolishness to happen, but literally, what did Obama do? I mean, for one, he's not, Obama's a Hamite, so he don't even care about the Negroes in America because, again, what is he? Is Obama really running the country?
Nah.
When you watch all the movies like or like the little TV shows like Scandal, the one that I got done watching is Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland, and it's all about these movies about the president. But those movies give you an insight that a lot of Americans don't even understand, that the president is a puppet to other people. Even when you do vote, a lot of people think that their vote counts. Your damn vote don't count unless you're part of the electoral college, that their vote is what gets the president into office. You just showing up as a number on a ballot and thinking that your opinion means something. They're trying to get, it's that thing like, oh, we'll get them involved to make them feel like they're important. But in actuality, your vote don't matter. But they'll say, what? They'll have all the vote, you got Diddy out there talking about vote or die. Diddy been talking about vote or die ever since Bush.
Bush and Kerry.
Yeah, but niggas been voting and still dying. Think about how many black folks that went and voted and then their kids is getting shot in the street. How many black moms took the day off, got their little I voted sticker. The little sticker they give you that says I voted?
Done.
And they walk around proud as hell. They got the little American flag on it. But really, what are you promoting? You're promoting this country's agenda when you vote for the next man in power. It don't matter if it's a damn Democrat, Republican, Independent. They're all the same damn thing. And if you go into the history of it, the Democrats, oh my God, they're worse than Republicans. Republicans actually, they try to do things for black people back in the day. The Democrats were the ones that were really shutting down like the welfare and shutting down, bringing out like the abortion. But now it's kind of switched where it's like Democrats are for black people, Republicans are for the rich white people. Guess what? Ain't none of them for your black ass. Ain't none of them for an Israelite. They don't care, because at the end of the day, what laws do they follow? When you go vote for Trump, or when you go vote, who's the next one that's going to be going up against Trump? What Democrat? I don't know. I don't keep up. I don't give a damn. I hope Trump stays in there for life so he can just bring destruction. So Russia can just hate this place and bomb it. But when you go vote for your next best leader, what makes him the next best? What laws, according to the Most High, is he trying to uphold? Or do they steadily, when they pass their bills, do they steadily find ways to keep you falling and to keep you disobeying the Most High? Yeah.
Exactly what they do.
Go to Deuteronomy 17 and verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Go read verse 14.
Verse 14.
Right.
When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee,
right,
and shalt possess it.
Now we know we don't possess this land, right? We know we're not in our kingdom. We know we're not in our rulership. But take that part out of it. We know we don't rule. We're still in oppression. Bottom line, we're still in slavery mentally.
God.
But the point still stands. Watch, read.
And shalt dwell therein.
Because we dwell in this land.
And shalt say, I will set a king over me.
Right.
Like as all the nations that are about me.
Right.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Right.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Wait, who's going to choose him?
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Now, I know y'all are like, well, the Most High ain't going to come down and choose the king. Well, he ain't choosing none of these wicked niggas. He ain't choose Obama. He ain't choosing Bush. He ain't choose both Bushes, Clinton. Like, Everybody, oh, Clinton was the best president for blacks. Hell no, he wasn't. Clinton came up with the three strikes rule, if you didn't know that. So he's the one that got your uncle locked up for life. You know what I'm saying, on some weed charge. He's the one, like, Clinton is the one that came up with the street. That administration put in the three strikes rule. You go back, you know, the Reagan administration, the war on drugs. When you go, it was always an agenda. I mean, think about it. Was the war on drugs really a war on drugs? Or was it a war on black people? That was a war on the black and Hispanics and Native Indians. Because where was the drugs at? Where was the crack? That was in the hood. So that was a let's retitle that war on drugs, but that was a war on Negroes. That was a war on Hispanics, but guess what? You had some silly ass Negroes that were like, let's vote for Ronald Reagan. He was a good actor. I mean, that's what he was, right? He was an actor before he was a politician. Yeah.
Could he act beside a monkey?
Even better. Even better. Monkey see, monkey do. Right? So, but my point is, we vote for this and then we wonder why we getting caught up. You voted for Obama, but then you get mad when he legalizes homosexuality right in your backyard. You get mad when you see two faggots prancing around holding hands. You can't be mad because you helped allow that. Read on.
One from among thy brethren.
One from among what?
Thy brethren.
Now, why would he have to be from among the brethren? Well, because the king, when you even read through this chapter, the king that you chose, he had a protocol. He had to, before he even took rulership, he had to write out the law, the whole law. He had to write it out, recite it, have it next to him. He had to abide in that law. There were certain things that a king could and couldn't do, a righteous king, to make him to be called righteous. You know, when it goes down, talking about multiplying horses and multiplying women and multiplying gold, could it be greedy as hell? Ain't every king that's been set up in this country about his pocket, about greed, about, the economy, America's debt, America's wealth? It ain't about each individual's wealth and they don't care about your economy. There was one time in America where there was an actual middle class up until about the 70s. Now it's just either you broke or you poor. Or, excuse me, either you rich or you poor. Either you got dough or you just barely making it. But up until the 70s, the industrial era when you can go get you a plant job and, you know, work in the steel mill and work at the factories, they ain't got that no more. Why? Because they wanted to kill the black man's economy. So you either poor as hell or you got it. But who voted for that? Who put that into play? Wasn't it the king?
God.
Yeah, through all his policies, this is how they get us. But it's telling us not to vote for anyone besides our brethren. Why? Because your brother is supposed to keep that law. He's supposed to have that love towards you. What love does Bush, what's this red devil? Trump. Who the hell does Trump care about besides himself and his pockets and his corporation?
Absolutely nothing.
Nobody but himself, right? Everything he does is for his bottom line. Read on.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Right?
Which is not thy brother.
Right. So, for one, ain't no brother ever been voted into the presidency in modern times. In the last 100 years, it ain't happened. So, you know, they say that the first 5 presidents were black. You know, you only see that there was one, but still, the point is, ain't no Israelite being voted into the presidency, so you don't vote for them. And then even when you do have the Israelites that are in office and in government, first of all, they're playing the game. They're playing the game. They're not going off of no biblical policy. They come in with all the earmarks. What is the dude that died the other day, short arms? John McCain. He calls it pork, right? The earmarks. A lot of pork. That's what your government officials, even if they are Israelites, they come in with the policy of the white man to do what? Legalize some type of foolishness to where grown-ass men can sleep with little boys. That's what they're legalizing. I mean, you got to check some of these bills. What's up?
You ever seen The Wire?
Yeah, I always seen the first season.
A lot of them act like, well, this is dude named Clay Davis. He's a brother, but
Gotta revoke my black card. I only see one
nah,
season in the wire.
a lot of the even the Israelite politicians are they're just corrupt, crooked people that do like under the deal, like they help like it shows you in that show like they actually help drug dealers get spots and stuff like that, like in their names, like whether it be a strip club or business to launder their money and stuff like that. They know a lot of stuff is going on too.
The lobbyists and all that different stuff, like they're lobbying and they're throwing out money here for this, and if you pass this bill, we'll support you in this way financially. But a lot of that stuff that gets passed, they'll pass something, they'll put like something good, like healthcare reform. But then that bill is like this thick. It's a folder. If you ever see when they come with these bills, man, it's a binder. And when you go through all the other things that are added for them to pass, a certain amount of money for the budget, then they got in there like they'll reduce funding for this program, and the Boys and Girls Club will, lose money here, and this neighborhood will lose school funding. All that stuff happens behind these politicians, but in order for them to get homosexuality legalized, they'll take something away. Well, who does it affect? Are they cutting spending in the white community? They're doing it in the black community. Are they cutting, healthcare in the white communities? Everything starts in our community first. We're the ones that's affected, but you vote for that. You really gotta. I was once really kind of into the whole politic thing and just the inner workings. I'm like, man, it's all evil. It's all evil. Why? Because it's about each man's agenda. Go to 1 Samuel 9:15. So it says that the point in that scripture was that the Most High was supposed to choose that king, right?
Go ahead.
So let's go through it real quick. Couple of scriptures. Go to 1 Samuel 9:15. Let's see how Saul was chosen. Did somebody just say, "Oh, Saul, you're the king"? Or did the Most High, 1 Samuel 9:15, or did the Most High spoke to Samuel and told him, choose Saul? Even when you go to David, same thing. When you go to Solomon, 1 Samuel 9:15. Why can't I find 1 Samuel?
I thought you were going to 15. I'm sorry.
1 Samuel 9:15.
1 Samuel chapter 9 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Now the Most High had told Samuel.
He did what?
Told Samuel.
Come on.
In his ear,
right,
a day before Saul came, saying, tomorrow about this time I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin.
Right. Which was who? Which was Saul. Saul was a Benjamite. Go ahead.
And thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people Israel.
Thou shalt do what?
Anoint him to be captain over my people Israel.
Right. The Most High told Samuel who to choose. Now listen, if you want to choose your king, get your mind right, and let's get up out this captivity. But guess what? The beautiful thing is we ain't got to choose the king. Christ is the king. So it's already chosen for us. You see that? Our king is already chosen, but our people are so brainwashed. You want to think you're going to go choose your king. You're going to go choose Trump. You're going to go choose the next idiot that runs up behind Trump. Christ is already king. So it's already, the Most High already has it set up. Let's get right so that the king can come and rule. From there, go to 1 Samuel 10:24.
1 Samuel chapter 10 verse 24.
Uh-huh.
And Samuel said to all the people, see ye him who the Most High hath chosen.
Who he? Who what?
Who the Most High hath chosen.
Come on.
That there is none like him among all the people.
Uh-huh.
And all the people shouted and said, Yahweh save the king.
Right. So who was chosen at this time? It was Saul. Right? Now let's go to 1 Samuel 16 and 12. 1 Samuel 16 and 12. You go to the book of Samuel and just see, it tells you straight up. Most High chose it because it was about picking a righteous man. Go to 1 Samuel 16 and verse 12.
And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ready.
Uh-huh.
And withal of a beautiful countenance.
Right.
And goodly to look to.
Now this is talking about David. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, arise, anoint him.
Right.
For this is he.
For this is he. Anoint him as what? The king. Read verse 13.
Verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Most High came upon David from that day forward. So
and the what came upon David?
The Spirit of the Most High.
The Spirit of Satan?
Of the Most High.
The Spirit of America.
The Most High.
Go ahead.
Came upon David from that day forward.
Right, because the Spirit ain't going to go on nobody but our brethren. The Most High wanted us to deal with somebody that can get that spirit. Just like how the Spirit of the Lord rests on Yahweh Shai, and all that righteous judgment and equity, right? Reproving, not the hearing of his ears. Can we get the family? That was going to be sent from the Most High. Go to 1 Samuel. I mean, y'all get the point, right? Let me see here. Go to. I mean, you got to just understand and see. Just look back at the last 8 years. What the hell did we vote for? When you voted, what did you get? Go to 1 Samuel 15 and verse 11. Verse 10.
1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Then came the word of the Most High to Samuel, saying, It repented me that I have set up Saul to be king.
Wait, see, the Most High said, It repented me that I set up Saul. Go ahead.
For he has turned back from following me.
Right.
And hath not performed my commandments.
And that's what none of these presidents, vice presidents, I don't give a damn what level of government you're dealing with. It's all somebody being attached to a string and being dangled around like a puppet. I don't care if it's your local legislator. I don't care if it's your local senator, your governor, your local little judge. I don't give a damn who it is. What is he abiding by?
When you talk to these people, because I was a political science major, so I was kind of always interested in like the politics behind America. You talk to the average Joe, like they can't even tell you why they voted for Obama, but other than he's black.
Well, that's why. That's the first. He's the first black man, blase, Skippy.
And then when you ask him, I had a coworker ask him, I said, well, what has Obama done? Well, he showed us a strong black man and black woman. I said, man, you can see that on Family Matters. The fact of the matter is, if you study what he did while he was in office, he had the #1 most rate of unemployed Israelite men throughout the entire history of the
presidency. You saying Obama?
Yes, throughout the entire history of the presidency of the United States.
Oh, and more black people died under Obama than any president. Black men getting shot in them streets.
They
Come
can't
on,
tell
man.
you anything as to why because people right now, the big movement is Beto. They think he's like Clinton resurrected. Can't nobody tell you any of Beto's policies that you want to bring in. He just sounds cool.
Well, you know what it was? I ain't gonna lie. I remember I first watched Obama at the DNC when he was just a speaker. And I was like, damn, this dude knows how to talk. He was still the governor of Chicago or whatever he was. And I was like, damn, this dude is elegant with his speech. That's why a lot of people voted for Obama, because he knew how to talk. He was very articulate. The dude could talk. He could talk the panties off of none. The way he talked and the way he brought his point across, and a lot of people were starstruck and to see that from a black man. But what was it? All it was the arena was switched from preacher to politician. They're the same damn thing. Why? Our people want to hear smooth words, right? They don't want somebody that's going to, like the scripture says, they tell the seers not to see and the hearers not to hear. They don't want nobody that's going to tell them the right thing. They want to hear, oh, it's going to be okay. What was Obama's thing? Obama's slogan was, yes, we can. Yes, we can save the world. They had songs. You had Nas writing songs about black. I hope it ain't heaven sent to get a black president, right? That was pop. But Nas remixed it. You had Young Jeezy, my president is black. All that, right? But nigga, he's black, but so what? He also let homosexuality run rampant. He also let a bunch of black men get killed in the streets and didn't do a damn thing. When did Obama ever show up for Mike Brown and all these brothers that got shot? He didn't. Because he don't care. It's not in their nature to give a damn about us. That's why we stay at the bottom no matter who we vote for. So, I mean, we got to understand that, man, that if you want to vote, by all means, that's on you, but you reap what you sow. Because there is no the lesser evil. They're all evil as hell. So if you think like, well, I'm voting for the lesser evil of the two. Man, they both wicked. Move over this way. They both wicked as hell and evil, so it doesn't matter who you vote for. Just don't vote. You can get through life without voting. I mean, your vote don't matter anyway.
Exactly.
Your vote don't matter. You're wasting your time. You're wasting paper. And all you do is get a little sticker that says I voted. That's your voter's trophy. So it don't matter. It don't matter if you vote. The scriptures tell us not to. So hopefully that answers. hopefully that answers that. I mean, if we need more, we can get all the way up in it. Let's see here. Shalom, question. In Matthew's 1:19, what would have been the public example of, and how do you put your wife away privily? In Matthew's 1:25, Joseph couldn't have sex with his wife until the child was born. Thanks. Go there real quick. Matthew's 1:19. Very easy, very simple. The public example, when you go through the law, and we can read it. You know, Rush, go to Matthew chapter 1:19.
Matthew chapter 1, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Then Joseph, her husband.
Joseph was her what?
Her husband.
He was already what?
Her husband.
Now, this is what we got to understand. He already had sex with her because he was her husband. The scriptures tell us, Joseph, her husband. Okay? To be a husband, or considered a husband, biblically, we're not dealing with America's policy. Remember, we got to get into our Hebrew Israelite minds. We got to put that Hebrew Israelite cap, you know, put on the headband, take off the fitted cap, right? take it off, take off the do-rag. Not knocking anybody, but what I'm saying is get into that Hebrew mind. Marriage was constituted by, or the consummation of marriage was the sexual intercourse, the betrothal. He slept with her. Read verse 18.
Verse 18. Now the birth of Yahushua was on this wise.
This is how it happened. Go ahead.
When as his mother, Mary, was espoused to Joseph.
Right.
Before they...
So Mary was espoused to Joseph. When you go through Hebrew custom, we sometimes had an espousal, and guess what? The daughter didn't know, because that contract was between who?
Fathers.
The fathers, or the husband, or that man and that father. So I could run up on a dad and say, hey, I want your daughter. Here's my 50 shekels. She ain't got to know. It wasn't between her and the man, or it didn't have nothing to do with her. The contract was between the men. The men always had the dealings. So she was espoused to Joseph, but we understand that Joseph, you know, he went about there, he rushed things. He didn't go through all the steps. Nothing wrong with that. You know, he got a little ahead of himself. But it says she was espoused to Joseph. Go ahead.
Before they came together.
Before they were living together. Not before they came together to sleep together. Before they were known to be together. Go ahead.
She was found with child of the Holy Spirit.
Right, because would that even make sense that they were never together, but then she was found with a child? Wouldn't that be adultery on Joseph's part when he did sleep with her? The Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace.
God.
Thou shalt not commit adultery, right? Why would he let that happen here now in the New Testament? Why would he let Christ, the Savior, be born of an adulterous relationship? What example would that be for us? That would be the example that, hey, go commit adultery, right? Now, we know that's not the example. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Go ahead.
Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man,
right,
and not willing to make her a public example.
Jump over to Deuteronomy 22 and verse 20. Hold where you at. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 20. Now the public example was this in the law.
God, Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 20.
Go ahead.
But if this thing be true,
go 22. Read verse. Let's see here. Yeah, read that.
Verse 20. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel.
Now the tokens of virginity for a woman was what? Who knows? I know you know. What's that? What is it, Mark?
They put the cloth down.
Yeah, the tokens of the virginity was her blood. Yeah, when a woman that's a virgin sexually has intercourse, she bleeds. So the tokens of the virginity, or the proof of the virginity, was it would appear on the bed sheets. Okay, so it says, read it again.
Verse 20. But if this thing be true,
right, meaning that this woman claimed to be a virgin, and then she slept with this man. He paid the 50 shekels, the dowry of virgins, and then he said, well, she's not a virgin, because, you know, there was a time when men were divorcing women back then. That was their excuse. They would say, oh, she's not a virgin. I don't want to be with her. I'm going to divorce her. Even though she was, they would lie. So they had to come up with this tokens of virginity, where now you got to present the sheets to the priest, right?
Right.
So it's saying if the thing be true, meaning if she claimed to be a virgin, but she really wasn't, go ahead.
And the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel.
Go ahead.
Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house.
Read on.
And the men of her
Wait,
city.
stop right there. Think about it. The father's house, right?
Right.
Because, you know, again, the betrothal periods, it ain't like America, man, where you meet a chick and then the next week she lives with you. Like, I don't know a damn thing about her, but guess what? I'm gonna move her in. I just met her yesterday, but she's righteous. I'm moving her in. Bro, the betrothal period, she was with her dad. That was our custom. She was still living at home.
Got it.
Until the time of the ceremony, because the way we did it, we had the public ceremony, and then as you read through the scriptures, then they will go that same time after the ceremony, they will go to the bedchamber, or they call it the marriage chamber, and they will consummate. That was if we did things, and that's when we did things in the order of keeping that ceremony. It didn't always have to go like that. It didn't always have to be a ceremony, and you know, you let the whole community know, but the reason why you let the community know is why. That's how you permitted any type of adultery on somebody else's part. A man lusting after your wife. So we did things in order. We had ceremonies, we had weddings, and they were a lot better than the weddings now, where you got like a little whack wedding for 3 hours. I only got this building for 3 hours. We gotta hurry the hell up. We gotta get married. We gotta party. We gotta drink. Cause we gotta be gone by 7. We had marriage feasts for 7 days, 2 weeks. We had time, man. We had days and months. You read through the scriptures, brother would take a whole year off to be with his wife, cheer her up. You get one measly day. But that's why you get your bridezillas and things like that. This is my day, right? But back to the point. Read on.
Verse 21. And the men of her city shall stone her.
They shall do what?
Stone her.
His public example was that Joseph didn't want, he knew if he would have put her away, he said he was minded to put her away privily, meaning that he was going to do it on the low. He was just going to put her away and not say nothing. But he knew that if she would have got with the next man, what would have happened? She wouldn't have been a virgin. Because why? A ghost slept with her? No, because he did. And he knew those tokens of virginity wouldn't have been there. You see that? And then she would have got with the next man, and what? Wait a minute, she's not a virgin. Well, let's bring the tokens of virginity. Well, oh, they're not there. Oh, let's stone her. Public example. So, you see how the law, why do you think it says Christ was born under the law? Everything about his birth was lawful. Everything about his birth was law-abiding. Like when they said oh, is that Jesus, the son of Joseph, or supposed to be the son of Joseph? They knew that he was. It was public record. We had public record, public documentation that he was the son of Joseph. That ain't no damn ghost coming down and impregnating nobody. That's so, you know, we can kill that noise. Yes, they slept together. They everything they did, and even though you know Joseph might have rushed things and didn't go through and ceremony and it was still lawful. She was still a young virgin. That was a virgin, and he was a grown ass man that could have whatever woman he wanted that wasn't married. He just decided to move a little bit faster than like how we tell brothers, and we don't know the timetable. We don't know the timetable, but we tell brothers to get to know get to know any woman that you plan on being with. You let your betrothal period, your espousal period, man, take a year and a half, a year. Get to know this person, more than just their favorite color and what car they drive and what food they like. Make sure that y'all agree on things, So that's what that was talking about. That's what that's talking about. So hopefully you got that. That public example was, you could actually start that in Deuteronomy 22:16 down. Oh my gosh. Deuteronomy 22:16 down.
There was a question before.
It says, already lay with her and she was still in her dad's house. Wouldn't she have played the harlot in her father? No, she didn't play the harlot in her father's house. The question is, if he already laid with her and she was still in her dad's house, wouldn't she have played the harlot in her father's house? Lie. Because she wasn't jumping from what makes a woman a harlot? The fact that she slept with one man? Now, if she would have slept with Joseph and then got pregnant by another dude, that would have been a harlot. But she wasn't playing the harlot in her father's house because the way everything, the end result was this. She was taken from her father's house and she lived with Joseph. You see that? Now, if a woman is betrothed to one man and then is sleeping behind that man's back with another man, that's playing the harlot in the father's house. But remember, jump back to Matthew's real quick. We got to look at the word play. The word play. See, remember, you got to remember one thing about Matthew, about Mary and Joseph. You got to remember that they were righteous individuals. It said Joseph being a just man. Now, he was a just man. He wasn't going to deal with an unjust woman. Mary was brought up with some sense. So she wasn't going to be betrothed to Joseph and then go bang some other guy. It wasn't going to go down like that. Christ couldn't be brought through like that, man. Like, he came through from a whore. You know, just think about it. The example, for example's sake.
I mean, the scripture even tells you that, like, children that are born of whoredom
shall not take root.
They won't take root.
Right. It says the children born of a whore's bed won't take root.
God.
So think about it. Christ wouldn't have. It would not be possible. And I know he's just asking the question, but you just gotta look at who came forth and what the scriptures say.
I was just going to say, just like you just mentioned, the righteous individuals that the Most High always did, even from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He always used righteous individuals to bring forth his purpose. The nation of Israel through righteous men.
Because when you look at, think about it, when you look at Joseph's line and you look at Mary's line, right? They came from the righteous line. They came from that right. When you go into what is it, Luke, and you trace back Joseph's line, you trace Mary's line in Matthew's 1. Didn't it all come from the righteous side? The righteous side of Shem, right? You got Shem. It came from Shem. It came from the righteous line of Noah. But even with Shem had what? What kids did Shem have? Come on, y'all.
I was going to use Acts.
Yeah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Shem had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And then from there, Jacob. So the line, if you look at the line, it was always, and we did a class on that, but it was a righteous line that had to bring forth. What were you going to say? Mark?
No, you said the line, I was thinking about Acts 13 to 23. Too, because even in the righteous line, they were more, there was kind of like a top tier of righteousness too with King David's line. Because he was promised to, I'm kind of.
No, say what you're saying, but say it more clearer so I can understand.
It's kind of, it's hard to explain.
But no, okay, let's see here. Real quick, let's jump to, because they're sending me texts. Okay, question, how do I get out of jury duty? Before the truth, I registered to vote, not knowing that I signed me up to do jury duty. If I just ignored the request for me to go, is it true that you get locked up for not showing up? And stuff I looked into, what happens if you don't show? A lot of people tell me, they say that to scare coming, but I don't want to attend them at all. And when I spoke to someone, they say that they don't honor religion for you not to appear. They told me I would. I mean, I ain't never been on jury duty. I'm almost 40 years old. I mean, but I mean, I don't give a damn. I ain't showing up to nobody's courthouse to do nothing. I don't know what the law is, to be honest. I don't know how you get out of it. What's up?
They don't lock you up if you don't go, because I ain't been to a lot of them. And secondly, if you say, I can't go because of religious purposes, they have to respect that. I had an old Jamaican preacher in my parents' church. He used to always say, the Bible says, I should not judge no man.
Oh, he use that? Like, don't judge?
He use that, and they can't force you to go. So
yeah, I mean, they gotta respect your religious beliefs.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you're not in danger.
But I mean, think about it though. But even jury duty, at least they pay you. They pay you whatever. They pay you something. But I mean, a lot of people go to jury duty and what? They're dismissed because of some reason. They watch the case on the news or they don't like their views. You could just, I don't know how to get out of jury duty, so I don't want to give you some information I don't have. I ain't never been. And I've been called a few times. I'm like, man, screw that. I'm not showing up for that. That's me though. If they lock me up for not going to jury duty, I mean, I've never been pulled over and it was like, you didn't go to jury duty in 2005 when we called you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna lock you up now. A gang of people will probably be locked up. You know, so, you know, it might be a thing where they probably say that to scare you into going. But we kind of jumped a little bit. My bad. Hopefully that Matthews question got answered. Cause they're like hitting me from all angles. It's like question. So hopefully that Matthews question got answered. I mean, you know, I don't want to turn this into a immaculate conception class because we go over this and we've actually, beyond the shadow of a doubt, proved that ain't no ghosts impregnating nobody. Another question. It said before they came together, when you read the scriptures, when it talks of coming together, it was talking about sex, not moving in. Can you explain that part to me? Like in Corinthians 7, straightway it came together, just pondering. Okay, well, let's go there. Because, you know, you just got to look at the context of the scripture. I mean, because a lot of times when it was sex, it was said that he knew his wife. Right? When it said, Adam and Eve. It said Adam knew his wife, and she bare Cain. Let me see real quick. Let's see here. Therefore man shall leave. Let's go here real quick. I just want to see. Yeah. Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. And she bare his brother. Check this out. If you go down, Cain got killed. I'll say it again. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived Enoch. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. Cain went out from Cain. No, not, yeah, even Cain, it said he knew his wife. When you go to, I want to see where Seth. Yeah, so a lot of times when it said he knew his wife, that's what it was talking about. Sexually. I mean, you just got to look at the way it's written. You got to look at the way it's written. You got to look at the way it's written, and then you got to put the understanding of how we did our customs. We weren't brute beast animals just grabbing women and sleeping with them right in the middle of the street. Like you see a woman, you lay hold on her, and then you just hit it, and right there in the middle of the street, I see you, you're mine. Nah, we had customs. You know, again, that betrothal period didn't have nothing to do with the woman. She didn't have to be involved in that. You got to remember, too, that in this time, our men were significantly older than the wives. We took younger women, right? So what was a young woman going to do trying to negotiate some dowry or virgin? She didn't know a damn thing about that. You know, she couldn't determine her wealth. The dad had to. You know, so these contracts that we had, and, you know, we got this marriage class. See, I'm hitting y'all with some of the stuff from this marriage class that we're supposed to be doing. That's going to be another cable show. It's going in depth into the Hebrew custom of marriage because it's not what y'all think as far as America. America is like, drop on one knee and give you a ring. And you could be a virgin or not. We had an actual custom. Now, this is what we got to understand. Verse 19 is the key. Read it one more time for me. Verse 19 is the key, man.
God, Matthew chapter 1, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Then Joseph, her husband.
What was he?
Her husband.
What was he?
Her husband.
Jump down to verse 20 and read that.
Verse 20. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream.
Go ahead.
Saying, Joseph, thou son of David,
right?
Fear not to take unto thee Mary, thy wife.
Thy what?
Thy wife.
Thy girlfriend.
Thy wife.
Thy bedwench.
Thy wife.
Yeah, they were already husband and wife. They just weren't together publicly. That's why you think about it. Verse 19. Not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. How would he be able to do that if everybody knew? Only him and her knew that they slept together. He was gonna just put her away like, okay, let's act like this didn't happen. But he was a just man. So think about it. Only they knew what happened. They were together and nobody else knew it. Because why? They weren't publicly together. They weren't publicly living together. I mean, and I gotta find it. There's another scripture that shows it, where it was talking about. Oh man, I gotta find it, man. But it goes in and shows that they weren't living together because she came. I don't want to speak on it. I'll find it. But yeah, I mean, it tells you right there that how did they go from betrothed to husband? Betrothed to husband and wife. He had to have did something with her.
Got it.
But she just wasn't living with him. That's why it was putting her away on the low. Put her away without anybody knowing.
Got it.
But then the public example would have came out when she went and got with another man and she was no longer that virgin.
Got it.
Because, contrary to popular belief, sex is marriage, and our women weren't just running around like little thoughts, sleeping with everything, and then decided like after 50 niggas under their belt, like, I'm gonna be a born again virgin. I'm gonna give myself to the next man. I'm gonna make sure I'm a virgin for the next man that I get with. Oh, I love him. I'm gonna make sure I'm a virgin for him. Like, nigga, stop. You're not. There's no such thing as a born again virgin. I know chicks. Listen, I know some chicks, some Muslim chicks, man, that they definitely don't sleep with nobody until they're married with them, and they talking about going and getting surgery to get everything put back intact, to make it feel like they're virgins, so they can bleed when they get with that man. Yeah, is that real? Because if they're found not being virgins in countries like Saudi Arabia, come on, man, they kill them. You lie about that, they still cut chicks' heads off in Saudi Arabia. It's lawful. What's that?
Well, okay, I may be a little askew on this, but a woman's hymen can rupture without her having had sex. So,
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
So if it's the bed sheets, if they're only relying on that, and say she had an injury or something like that, then.
But I think that if either way it ruptures, it bleeds, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Right. So then there would still be some type of, well, this is what happened to her a year ago. This is why.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that the parents would know, like, okay, why are you just bleeding on yourself? Well, this is what's going on. Either she's having her menstrual or something happened physically where that hymen is no longer intact. But I think that would, I see what you're saying. But I think that that would be known beforehand. You see what I'm saying? Any type of medical issue like that, that would kind of be, I think that would be, hey, this is what happened. So when you go in there, if this don't happen, then this is why. I think that would kind of be disclosed already. I would hope. I mean, we're intelligent people. We're law-abiding. So we want to disclose everything. Unless there was something else weird going on. I mean, you had I mean, even when you read up in that Deuteronomy, you had women that were raped. They're no longer virgins. But they didn't get the chastisement. If they cried out, if they called for help, they didn't get the chastisement. So yeah, you had situations. I'm guessing it was still up to that man if he wanted to deal with that woman. Well, she's no longer a virgin. I don't want her. That's up to that man. Yeah, I mean, everybody clear on all that?
All right.
Yeah. What else? The thing is this. If we actually followed the custom of marriage, then y'all would understand exactly what this is talking about. If you met a woman, and we do follow it. You meet a chick, you don't move her in as soon as the day you meet her like you're mine. No one does that. You meet a chick, hey, where you live at? Oh, you live with your mama? Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna deal with you. And guess what you still do? You invite her over to the house. I'm gonna talk about a man that have no control. I'm gonna talk about not the righteous brothers in here, but the ones in the world. They meet a chick, where you live at? Oh, I live with my mama. Oh, okay. You start talking to her. Next thing you know, you're knocking on mama's door. Or the window, right? Or you go out on a date, you bring her to your house. You sleep with her. Think about how many bros done got their chick pregnant and she was living at her parents' house. Is it far-fetched? That happens all the damn time. And then what happens? Either she moves out or she stays there. But the man thing was for her to move out because, as we know, she moved out of her parents and moved over with Joseph. So it ain't far-fetched. Just think about how Israel does things, man. We rush. We jump into things. We move too fast. We move rash. We ain't got no, I like it because it's going into the topic a little bit. We ain't got no temperance. We ain't got no self-control. You meet a chick and you just want to hit it the same week. And it's like, nigga, no. So, what other questions we got? Oh, go to Ecclesiasticus 33 real quick. Ecclesiasticus 3. Ecclesiasticus 3 and
God.
Eat that. Yeah, read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 1.
3 and 31. He just wanted some understanding on that.
3 and verse 31.
Go ahead.
And he that requiteth good turns is mindful of that which may come hereafter.
Right. Go ahead.
And when he falleth, he shall find a stay.
Yeah, it's talking about repaying favors. You repay your favors, you repay your debts. Now when you fall, what happens? Someone's there to help you. That's all it's really talking about. When you vow your vows and you promise to do something, somebody might be depending on that. You borrow $500 from somebody, and that's their last $500. But you promise to God, you're gonna pay them when you get your taxes, right? Because that's what Israel's always talking. I'm gonna pay you back when I get my taxes. We'll pay you back when I get my taxes. It ain't never I'm gonna pay you back when I get paid. It's like I'm gonna pay you back when I get my taxes, right? And then what happens? They're counting on that money. They're counting on that, and you never pay them back when you get your taxes. Now, when it's time for you to get some help, because you might be in a little bind, ain't nobody gonna be there for you. So that's what it's talking about. Judah loves to say that, man. I'm gonna pay you back when I get my taxes. You gotta stop that, man. You gotta pay back the next week. I'm taking out the payday loans on people. But yeah, I'll pay you back tomorrow. Well, I need this $500 back because tomorrow this bill is due. I need that. Okay, yeah, you get it right back to them. Boom. Now let's say you back in another bind. They'll be there for you, or somebody else will. I mean, you got to remember, the Most High looks at everything, and He sees everything, and he, if you don't be slack to pay things back that you say you're gonna do. Don't be slack to do something that you say you're gonna do. So if you need some more on that, let me know. But hopefully that answers that. 7. Let's get into the topic, man. We're you got any more? Just hold them. I don't got a lot of scriptures tonight. It ain't gonna be a scripturally. Whoa, hold on. Let's go here real quick. Genesis 3:22. Got any other questions? Genesis 3:22. Is this the angels speaking? Let's say, is this the angels speaking with each other? Do the angels not want us to have power like them? Is immortality the only thing differing man from angels? No.
God, Genesis chapter 3, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said, Behold, the man is become as one of us,
right,
to know good and evil.
Right.
And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat.
Well, it says the Lord said. So that was the Most High speaking to who?
Yahushua.
Speaking to Yahushua, yes, and the other powers.
Right.
Now, it wasn't just angels talking amongst themselves. It said the Lord said. So, let's see here. Did the angels not want us to have power like them? No, it wasn't about us having power like them. It was about us not following what it said. Jump down to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 16. It wasn't about the angels wanting us to have power. The angels can't determine that. It was about us following the commandment of the Most High. He told us not to eat from this tree. Go ahead, read.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord God commanded the man.
What did he do?
Commanded the man.
He made a suggestion.
Commanded the man.
He asked him.
Commanded the man.
Come on.
Saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Right, so you got to remember, this was commandment. Go ahead.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it.
Right.
For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou surely shalt die.
Thou surely shalt what?
Shalt die.
Right. So you got to understand, it wasn't about the angels. It wasn't about the angels' will. This is what the Most High commanded. Is immortality the only thing differing man from angels? No. It's the free will. Angels don't have free will. Angels, they do as they're commanded. They don't have the, oh, let me think about it. They don't have that, oh, let me see. You know, like when you watch the movie, what's that movie, man? It had like Michael the Archangel, and they were fighting each other.
Legion.
Was it Legion?
Yeah.
And Michael was like, I don't want to destroy humankind.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, hell nah. The Most, you think that Michael, watch. Go to Revelation 7 real quick. You think that they got to say? You think that like the Most High is going to be like, do this, and they're going to be like, huh? I ain't doing that. Watch. Go to Revelation 7. The angels do. Somebody else get Ecclesiastes 38. These spirits, man, they do what the Most High commands. Revelations. Let me see here where I want to go. Revelation 7:3-1.
Good. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1.
Right.
And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth.
Go ahead.
Holding the 4 winds of the earth.
Read.
That the wind should not blow on the earth.
Right. So we understand that when you break this down, it's talking about the four angels, the 4 archangels out of the 7 archangels. And I don't want to go too deep into this, because I got this angels class I'm working on. I wanted to drop it. That's what I wanted to drop on Wednesday, was this angels class. I've been working on that. But it said they were holding back the 4 winds. They were holding back the destruction on the earth. This is the end times. Go ahead.
Nor on the sea.
Read.
Nor on any tree.
Come on.
And I saw another angel.
Right.
Ascending from the east.
What was that? Who was that angel?
Michael.
No. That was Yahweh Shai. Watch. Go ahead.
Having the seal of the living power.
But if you go through the hierarchy is it's the Most High, it's Yahweh Shai, it's the angels. But you have your 7 archangels. Only 4 of them are named in the scriptures that we have: Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel. Right? But when you go through the Apocrypha and Tobit, it tells you there's 7 archangels, the number of completion. Right?
Good.
So he said, I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. Go ahead.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels.
Go ahead.
To whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
Go ahead.
Saying, hurt not the earth.
Right.
Neither the sea.
Right.
Nor the trees. Till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
Now, if the angels didn't obey, wouldn't this earth be destroyed?
Yeah.
Now, do they not let out some of that wind? Do they not let out some of that destruction? Of course. But not to the level of what it's going to be.
Right.
So you got to understand that the angels, they obey Christ. They have to. He created them. He created the angels. Most High created Christ. Christ created the angels and everything else. So there is an order. You got Christ, the 7 archangels, and then you got everything that falls under it. You got other angels. You got messenger angels. You got not every angel is an archangel. Not every angel. You got Michael. He's the angel of war. Gabriel is the messenger. Uriel is the healing. Raphael is what?
Raphael's the healing.
Raphael's healing. Uriel is what?
Messenger.
No. Gabriel's messenger.
Gabriel's the,
What is Uriel? I forgot also off the top. But yeah, they had their duties, you know, but they commanded other angels. So it wasn't just an immortality thing. It was the fact that they got to obey. Go to Ecclesiasticus. Watch this. Ecclesiasticus 38. 28.
Good.
Oh,
Was
Uriel gives you the understanding.
understanding, right?
He's the light.
Right, he's the light. Yep. A warrior, a war. Right, go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 38 and verse 28. The smith also, sitting by the anvil.
39:28. I'm slacking. 39:28. Ecclesiastes 39:28.
Good. Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
Jump down to verse 31.
Good. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is.
Come on.
And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word.
And they shall do what they want.
Not transgress his word.
They got free will.
Not transgress his word.
Right. See, these spirits, these angels that are created, whether good or bad, they won't transgress the Most High's word. Go to Job. Go to Job real quick. Let's deal with the ultimate Satan himself. Now, think about it. If Satan was running the show, wouldn't Job have died?
Hey.
Now, we got to understand, man, that the angels, they got to obey the Most High, even Satan. What's up?
You got Joel 2:7, where it says they won't break ranks.
Go there. That's why you got to, you know what I mean? Come on, baby. Go there.
It's Joel chapter 2, verse 7. Joel chapter 2, verse 7. They shall run like mighty men.
Right.
They shall climb the wall like men of war.
Go ahead.
And they shall march every one on his ways. And they shall not break their ranks.
They don't just get out of order.
They shall not break their ranks.
Now, the difference with angels and men is that men stay breaking the damn ranks.
Good.
They stay disrespecting and disobeying order. So the angels, they're not going to, it's not just an immortality, it's the fact that they can't disobey. They were created to be either good or bad and do their job. Even Satan. Let's go there real quick. Job. Go to Job chapter 1, verse 6. I want y'all to see something here. Because we read this, but watch, read.
Job chapter 1 and verse 6.
Giving y'all about the whole class. Go ahead, read.
Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Most High. And Satan came also among them.
What were they doing here? What was this?
Holy convocation.
It was a council.
Good.
This was a council. the angels got a council, man, of the things that they're going to do and see. Satan came to drop this report. Watch, read.
And the Most High said unto Satan, Whence comest thou?
Nigga, don't ask me nothing. I'm Satan.
Whence comest thou?
Read on.
Then Satan answered the Most High.
Wait. Satan was like, I don't got to answer because I'm Satan?
Then Satan answered the Most High.
Don't ask me because I'm the high archangel of death.
Then Satan answered the Most High.
Go ahead.
And said, From going to and fro in the earth.
Yeah, he dropped his report. What are you doing, Satan? Well, this is what I'm doing. He answers to the Most High. Go ahead.
And from walking up and down in it.
Now check this out, verse 8.
And the Most High said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth.
Come on.
A perfect and upright man, one that feareth Yahweh, and escheweth evil.
He does what?
Escheweth evil.
Go ahead.
Then Satan answered the Most High and said, Doth Job fear Yahweh for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house justice is increased in the land.
Right? There's where am I looking for? Present themselves. Go to, here it is. Here it is. No, wait. There it is. Jump down to Job chapter 2 and verse 6.
Good. Job chapter 2 and verse 6. And the Most High said unto Satan, Behold, he is thine. He is in thine hand.
Right.
But save his life.
But do what?
But save his life.
Now, think about it. He didn't kill him.
Good.
He didn't kill him. Because he had to follow what the Most High said. He said he's in your hand. You can do everything to him, but kill him. You can put him through all things. He didn't say you couldn't kill people around him. He said just don't kill him. So they got to obey. That's the thing. They got to obey and we went through a whole class. Find that class that we did on free will. Because Zaki did a good class about free will. And I think it goes into showing about the angels where, some of the things I brought out. She's going to throw that class up for you about the free will. You didn't finish covering Matthew 25. What context is that and why is that? Thought I did finish Matthew 25. Matthew 125. Maybe I'm moving fast. Oh, Matthew 125? Yeah. Read it again. Read Matthew 125. Oh, we didn't get to Matthew 125. Right. Read Matthew 125.
Matthew chapter 1, verse 25.
So I'm jumping. I'm sorry, I didn't finish up their question in Matthew's. So he's saying, what context is it talking about in Matthew 125? Read that.
And knew her not.
And he knew her not.
Till she had brought.
Meaning what? What does it mean by he knew her not?
He didn't lay with her.
He didn't lay with her, right?
Okay.
Until what? Go ahead.
Till she had brought forth.
At all? Did it say he didn't lay with her at all?
La.
Right, it said he knew her not. He didn't lay with her until she brought forth. Go ahead, read it.
Till she had brought forth her firstborn son.
Right. Go ahead.
And he called his name Yahushua.
Right, so that's all I was saying was that, again, it's not far-fetched. He slept with her, got her pregnant. He didn't sleep with her again until she gave birth. That's all it's saying. I mean, as simple as that. It's as simple as that. He slept with her. She got pregnant. He was thinking to put her away. Angel was like, nah, don't do that. Take unto you, marry your wife, because that's what she is. He just didn't sleep with her until she gave birth. And then, it wasn't like the day after she gave birth, he slept with her. He had to wait. He had to wait because the law says what? When you have a boy, how many days is it?
I think it's like a few weeks.
But
that's 2 weeks ago.
There's days. Lock her up. How many days is it for a girl?
What is it like? It's 90.
You gotta look into that. I think it's 30.
It's 40, I believe.
We gotta look into it. Somebody find it. Somebody find it's in the law. We want to make sure we get it right. We don't want to. But I think it is 90 for a girl and 60 for the boy. Yeah, because that was the law. So that's all it's saying. He knew her not. When you go back into Genesis, it said Adam knew his wife, and she bare Cain or Abel. That's what it's talking about. Your mind.
So was they our custom back then? Like if we got our women pregnant, we didn't know them again until after they had a child, or
that I would have to look into, but I haven't seen anything about that. You gotta see where this situation was it's a different situation, man. But it really wasn't. But yeah, I'd have to look into that. But I don't think so. I don't see why it would be. There's no law, because there's no law saying like you can't sleep with your woman while she's pregnant, So to say that it was a custom, that was just his choice. You can choose to do whatever you want as long as both of y'all agree. That was his choice. Yeah, hopefully that answers that in Matthew's. What's that?
Is it kind of like how they talk about? It's in the New Testament though, how a man have a wife like, but she still like his virgin or whatever, and he decided like not to marry her, like they be the whole time. But then it say, but if they do marry, they sin not. Is it kind of like
You
that?
talking about
like
in Corinthians?
Yeah.
Wait. Let's go there real quick. Corinthians 11, right? No, it's 7. But no, it's not. I don't think it's talking about the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, let's see here. Where's that? Where's that? In 7? No, that's
7 is about the one with the how to deal with each other.
It's 7 and 28. Yeah.
Is it? 1 Corinthians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. But if I'm not done, it's not something.
So that's just speaking about sex, basically. Like if you have relations.
Well, you gotta remember, they wanted Mary wasn't a virgin, so this don't apply. She was no longer a virgin. He slept with her. He just decided not to sleep with her. What would apply is this. Verse 5, 1 Corinthians 7 and 5, defraud ye not one another except to be with consent for a time. You see that? So remember, he already slept with her. She's no longer a virgin. Obviously, he's not. He's not. So all he did, they just separated for a time as far as the sex. Leviticus 12. Did y'all find that? It's Leviticus 12.
Oh yeah, it's
Somebody read it.
all right.
Where we at?
Leviticus chapter 12.
Let's hit this and then let's get into the class. Go ahead.
It goes through 1 through 5.
Go ahead, read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed and born a man-child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation, for her infirmity shall she be unclean.
Right.
And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And
Right,
she shall...
So she's unclean 7 days automatically. Right? If a woman have conceived seed and born a man-child, she shall be unclean 7 days. Right? On the 8th day, he needs to be circumcised. Go ahead.
And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
Right.
And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days.
So how many days total?
40, 41?
40 days.
40 days?
30.
33 days.
Well, it's 33 plus 7.
Yeah.
33 plus 7 is 40.
40.
Right. 33 plus 7 is 40. So 40 days for a man. Y'all see that?
Good.
40 days for a man. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 5. But if she bear a maid child,
right,
then she shall be unclean 2 weeks.
Right. So
that's in her separation.
That's 14 days. Go ahead.
And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days.
So what is a score?
20.
20. So you got 66.
So 80s.
Right. So it's double. Right? So 80 days. Some brothers is gonna be Some brothers is about to have made children.
Right. Yeah, but hair guy.
So yeah, bro. But hey, listen. Think about it. That's where to prevent any type of lewdness. That's where multiple women, multiple wives. Excuse me. That's where that came into play. Some men couldn't wait no whole 80 days to deal with a woman or to deal with their wife. So, but imagine if you had both of them pregnant at the same time. Yeah, it's a moot point, right? But now we see where, you know, if you 80 days, that's a while, man. That's 2 months, 2.5 months. You know, I mean, come on, man. Some brothers is warriors, man. You can deal with that.
Easy.
It's easy. You know, some brothers can deal with that. So, yeah, that's the law on the separation for the men and women. Very important. Very important for brothers to know, because some brothers don't know that. That when you had that child, there was a separation period. There was a separation period for that. Let's see here. Let me get the Texas. Too much. Let's see. Perfect. All right, let's get into this class. I mean, what? That about an hour and a half? That's all I really need. It's not a lot. Just finish this up real quick. So, what did we talk about? Damn, a lot more people here from last couple of days. I know it was raining Wednesday and that weather, but you know, the train got to keep moving, baby. So last class we went over comfort, right? Basically, how do you know you're in the Spirit? How do you know that you're operating within the Holy Spirit? Well, the Spirit comforts us, right? Go to St. John 14:26 real quick. Somebody else get Galatians 5. St. John 14:26 real quick. Just a quick refresh. If you missed the class, listen, it was a good class. I liked it. St. John 14:26. I'm my biggest critic, so if I liked it, it was a good class. You know what I'm saying? If I liked it, it was a good class. It was good. It was, you know, it was a comfort. I was comforted in that, just knowing that the Most High got our back.
Likewise.
Read that, St. John 14:26.
St. John chapter 14, verse 26. But the Comforter.
The what?
The Comforter.
Yeah, the Comforter. Go ahead.
Which is the Holy Ghost.
Right. So if you're dealing within the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, right? The Comforter will be there for you. Go ahead.
Whom the Father will send in my name.
Right, because Yahweh Shai said, I would not leave you comfortless. Read.
He shall teach you all things.
What was going to happen?
He shall teach you all things.
Yeah, we were going to be taught through the Spirit. We were going to be taught of the Spirit, through the Spirit. Go ahead.
And bring all things to your remembrance.
Right. Read.
Whatsoever I have said unto you.
Right. Whatsoever was said, because again, I always have to show people, like, first of all, man, we weren't there to know what Christ was saying. The only way we know is through the Word. Through the Word is the way we being brought back to remembrance. You know, you go back into that story of Judas Maccabeus, and he said he stirred up the people through the law. He was bringing them to the remembrance of how the forefathers dwelt in war and times of battle. He was bringing them back to that. So the scriptures, the Spirit brings all things to our remembrance. Now, go to Ephesians 5.
Galatians 5:22.
Good. Galatians 5:22.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22.
So this is what part we on? 3? You know, this whole thing is to show that the fruits of the Spirit, but there's also some things that the Spirit mentions. You know, and it's all mentioned, but what attributes should we be carrying if we are truly rolling with the Spirit? The Spirit is with us. So, go ahead.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love.
Right, because to get the fruits of the Spirit, you got to have the attributes. You got to have the Spirit of the Lord on you, which is all found in Isaiah 11 verse 1 down. You have these things, then what will happen, what will grow from it is these fruits. Love.
Joy. Peace.
What?
Peace.
Peace of mind. Comfort. See that? Read.
Long suffering.
Read.
Gentleness. Goodness.
Come on.
Faith.
Read.
Meekness. Temperance.
What?
Temperance.
Temperance. Now, who knows what temperance is?
Self-restraint.
Self-restraint. Discipline. Self-control. Temperance. Now, what's that?
Quick question. What book did you quote in Isaiah?
Oh, Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 1 through 5. Isaiah 11 and 1 through 5. Now, temperance. Why is temperance important? And I'm going to say this. A lot of times when you hear this word temperance, you know, outside of the Bible, they're talking about one thing. And it's really just self-restraint when it comes to alcohol and drinking. But we understand it's more than just drinking. Self-restraint is for all arenas and all times. You had your hand up, Jeremiah.
Cause like I have been using it for like I'm trying to go without using profanity.
Okay.
You know,
Ooh.
and abstaining from like wrong thinking, like stuff like that.
Right. That's a good one though. That profanity, that gets brothers all the time. That gets brothers all the time. So that's a good one. Profanity, the way you talk. You know, having self-control of your mouth. A lot of us cuss like sailors. And we were working on it. You know, we work on it. You know, especially since, you know, our example, the kids, man, they start picking up and they start saying some outrageous things. You're like, where you get that from? And then it's like, oh, you got it from me. Yeah, because, you know, you don't think who's watching. So that's self-control, temperance. Why else? Anybody else? What's that?
Keep to abstain like from restraint from like lust and hurtful sins.
Oh yeah, lust. I'm gonna read you this definition. It says temperance. The first word that comes up, moderation. Right? The scriptures tell us to do what? All things in moderation. Right? Let your moderation be known to all men. Moderation. Habitual moderation in regard to indulgence of the natural appetites and passions. So it's saying you got to moderate your natural appetite. What's a natural appetite? Food, sex, right? What did they say? There's like 3 things that man needs in life to function.
Money.
Well, the natural brute beast things: reproduce, eat, and sleep. Right? So sex, food, and laziness is what the basis of base things that a human being needs. But think about it. Even though these things are needed, don't they need to be done in moderation? Like if you always sleeping, now what you got on you? Slothful spirit. If you always eating, what you got on you? Gluttonous spirit. If you always trying to hit something, what you got? Lust demons. Right? So the scriptures is to show us that temperance in everything is needed. It ain't just one arena. Because even if you drink too much, what are you? Alcohol. Wine bibber, right? So there's, and it's sad because there's a name for all of these damn demons. Lustful, drunkard, right? Glutton, slothful, right? There's a name. I like it. There's a name for all 4, but it shows you that biblically and, you know, for a few reasons, temperance is very important for growth. And we're going to go through a few reasons. I'm going to finish reading this. It says, restrain or moderate indulgences as temperance in eating and drinking. Temperance in the indulgence of joy and mirth. So it's telling you that you got to moderate how happy, how much joy. But if you got to moderate your joy, don't you got to moderate how sad you are? So what is it saying? That balance, right? A false balance is an abomination to the Most High. When you lean too much to this side, it's wrong. When you lean too much to the right, it's wrong. And I talked about it before, I think last class, it's really about going down that straight path.
It's kind of like one of the Ecclesiastes when they talk about like how you know a man, when they talk about his excessive laughter.
Excessive laughter, you know, by the way he walks, he talks, by the way he dressed, and his excessive laughter. I mean, what does excessive laughter tell you about a man?
Feminine.
It could be that. What else?
He's not.
No graveness to
What?
it.
He had his hand up. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he's not serious.
He's not serious. He stole yours. Not grave. Same thing. He's not grave. He could be effeminate. You're always laughing and giggling, kikiing. Ain't no man supposed to be doing that all the time. Not all the time. There's nothing wrong with joking, laughing, but if you're always the jokester, if you're always the class clown, if every situation is you know, laughing and giggling and not taking things serious, people are going to look at you and say, well, I can't take this brother serious, or I can't come to him with serious matters, or this sister can't be entrusted with important information because she don't take it serious. But you know the manner of man by the excessive laughter. We sit here going through a high holy council. They ain't high holy, but we sit here counseling a brother on, you know, keeping his household together, and you in the back laughing or giggling. You don't belong in that council. You're showing yourself not to be trustworthy, not to be temperate in serious matters. I'm gonna finish reading. It says, temperance in eating and drinking is opposed to gluttony and drunkenness, and in other indulgences to the excess. Patience, calmness, sedateness, moderation of passion. So, temperance, that's what it is. We all should be tempered. We should all be tempered, you know. Even when you go through the class we did the other day about the comfort, and we were talking about what makes people uncomfortable, what gets them in that mind of chaos. What is it? The need for more. The need for, you know, I got the 2015, but I need the 2021. I got the 2018, but I got to upgrade. I got the new phone that came out last month, but damn, a new one dropped. I got to get that. See, there has to be some type of temperance to say, you know what? I don't need that. I don't need to chase after that. I don't need to go after every chick I see and get the number. I don't gotta drink, you know, a beer every single night. I don't gotta stuff my face with food until I'm about to damn explode because it's there. It's about temperance. You know, even these kids with the phones. I don't gotta sit on my phone. As soon as I wake up, the phone is attached to my ear, and I'm getting beat up with social media all the way until I go back to sleep. You on the phone with it attached to your face like this for 18 hours out the day. You gotta be temperate, you gotta be moderate. And I'm talking to my daughter because that's how she tries to do it. Where I'm like, okay, put the phone down, take the phone, turn it off, put it on the kitchen counter. Go do something else. I don't care what else you do. But you gonna get off the phone, you gonna get off the TV. Go read. You got homework, you got this work, you got schoolwork, you got your brother to mess with, you got chores. It's like I gotta create things to keep her off the phone. You making up chores. Go wash the dog. Really, go wash the dog. Go do this. Go do that. Your closet, like every day, because if not, she'll just be glued. It's like an umbilical cord from the phone to her ear, and I'm like, wow, what are you doing? Nothing. Why do you need your phone? I don't know. She came to me last night. I took the phone from her. She said, "Oh, can I get my phone until I go to bed?" I said, "What you gonna do on the phone?" I don't know. I'm like, then why you need it? You give me a good reason, but you know what it is? It's that lust to just have it in your hand and be able to just scroll. It's like a crackhead, man. It's like you gotta sit here and just. It's an addiction. It's bad. You know, that's what the kids be dealing with, and then it's like now I see why the thinking on a certain level ain't there, because this dumbs you down. It makes things easy. Everything is accessible, but then even then I'm like, how come you're not smarter if all the information is at the tip of your hands?
I just want to say one thing.
No, go ahead.
The years that I waited tables, there's been plenty of times where the kid, the whole time they're sitting there eating, he's on his phone. I'll ask him what he wants to drink, and his parents will answer for him, and he won't even look up. Me, won't even answer me.
Yeah, because why? There's no temperance. There's no moderation. There's no, okay, it's time to cut that off. You know, I got to do that with this guy, and you know, and TV. He'll sit there in front of the TV like it's a full-time job. But then when it's time to do his schoolwork, he's like, oh, Dad. It'd be 30 minutes in, like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm like, what you talking about? But you know what the killer is? The killer is this. This is the funniest part. He does his work on the tablet because he does homeschooling. He does his work on the tablet. Bro, he'll have that tablet and play Roblox for hours. Now, if it's schoolwork, he's so tired. He's so tired because it's schoolwork. But I'm like, you're on the same tablet that you would sit on and do Roblox all day. But see, it's a mind state of, it ain't just the device, it's what I'm doing on the device. Because if I told my daughter, okay, sit on your phone and read your Bible the whole time, she'd pass out. I'll go in the room, she just knocked out. Like, what the hell happened to you? Dad, somebody gave you some sleeping pills? What happened? But since it's, I can be on Musical.ly and I can do Instagram and I can, text and listen to, I'm in there because that's what I want to give my mind to. I want to give my mind over to the lust that I want to feed it. It's no different, think about it, man. You can sit around and watch Netflix, a whole 3-season series. You can kill that in 2 weeks. That's like 20-something episodes. What's 20 times 8? Somebody do the math. Huh? 160. That's 160 hours of TV dedicated in there. You'll knock that out in a row. You come to class and pass out within the first hour. It's like, what the hell? All you're doing is just getting knowledge. You're sitting here listening. Or you'll watch TV at home, class at home, and by the time we even do the announcements, but you can sit there and watch Netflix. But see, it's about what I want to indulge myself in. What do I want to be moderate in? What do I want to be temperate in? What do I want to be, because, listen, we talked about coveting the best gifts a couple of classes ago. What do I want to covet? Do I want my lust in bad things to take over, or do I want my lust in good things to take over? Because there's too much of being addicted to the ministry. There's not enough of that. You can't be too addicted to the scriptures that Yahweh Shai is going to ascend from the fourth and be like, my son, stop studying. My son, you're too addicted to my word. Hell no, that ain't going to happen. But what's going to happen is that phone is going to explode in your ear and shock you to death because it's just attached. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kids got to be careful because, and parents, you got to be careful of what they're looking at. I can tell, my daughter knows she ain't supposed to be on that phone. Because I walk into her room and she's scrambling like, let me find something to do real quick. And I'm like, man, I already know what you're doing. Oh, you're on the damn phone, dancing around, doing Musical.ly. But every night, I'm like, okay, you've been on the phone a couple hours, put the phone down for the rest of the night. That's been my thing. Go read. Go do your homework. Go study. Talk to your brother. Don't just act like he's a ghost. And the same thing with him. So for the kids, man, that we gotta be the example of temperance, because a lot of you parents, a lot of you adults, y'all got a damn phone demon on you. First thing you do, you wake up, you start thumbing through Instagram. You got that thumb that man, it's like a crackhead's twitch. Now crackheads be twitching, that automatic flick. You can flick through stories, man, in an instant. Gotta be careful. Games on the phone, all that, man, it's no good because they see it. But she said, this is every day with my son. Yeah, you gotta break that spirit off of them. I be looking at like TVs, I be watching shows, man, you got the kids, like the brother was saying, they be attached to the phone. Everything they do, they just walking around like this. And I'm like, why don't you just take the phone from them? You pay for it. Why don't you just take it? Why argue? Like, I don't argue. I'm like, dude, put the phone on the counter. You gonna listen to it ring? You gonna listen to it go off? You ain't gonna touch it. I don't care. I pay for it. So you gonna do what the hell I say?
That's good therapy.
What's that?
Just letting it ring.
Letting it ring.
And you can't answer.
And you can't answer it. But what you see that crackhead, that Tyrone Biggums, that lip start twitching. You got some more Red Balls, please? Like, that's how they get, man. Like, my daughter be like itching for the phone. I'm like, okay, we gotta cut that. Same thing with him. This guy sees a tablet And man, listen, he's like a damn hound dog on a tablet. Any type of electronics that he know he can go download games, don't give him your phone because it'll have just like 1,000 downloads. But by the time you get it back, you're like, wait a minute, where'd this game come from? Where'd this game? Oh, Noah had the phone. Noah had the tablet. This used to be his tablet. I was like, nope. It broke. I got it fixed. I'm like, nope, you ain't getting that back. Because all types of like 8 versions of Roblox, Angry Birds. I'm like, bro, you need to do schoolwork. So he uses this for schoolwork, and that's that. Because there has to be some type of temperance early in the children, or else they're gonna be addicted to social media and thinking that they're video vloggers. You see that? So very important, man. Temperance, it's on all levels. You know, you got a lot of overweight children. Why are they overweight? Because all they do, their parents just let them eat bad foods. They just eat. You're not supposed to be 5 years old, 200 pounds. You know, you're not supposed to be 15, 200 pounds. I mean, damn. But I see it a lot in the mall. I'm like, how old are you? 12. I'm like, but dude, you're huge. Like, that way. Not tall. That way. And I'm like, damn, what you eat? Oh, you know, Burger King, this, that, but where does it start? You know, you look at the children, man. Think about it. The children at a certain age, they can recognize fast food symbols. They can recognize the McDonald's arches. They can recognize this place, that place. When they start at 3 years old talking about let's go to Chick-fil-A, you got a problem. When they can say, oh, McDonald's, at 2 years old, there's a problem. You got to be more moderate in the fast foods because it's going to develop a habit later on down the line. Go to Ecclesiasticus 18 and verse 30. I got an hour.
Also, too, me and some of my friends were talking, like, that I'm getting older now. It's like, you can go down the blocks and stuff, ain't no kids playing outside. Right.
Yeah, because it's about video games. It's about being inside. You know, the only reason why I don't let my guy go outside that much because he's bad. He don't want to do his schoolwork, so I'm like, you ain't riding your bike. You're going to sit up in here. When you have easier days with homeschool, oh, you going to ride your bike all day. He can knock out his work in 2 hours if he just put his mind to it. But it be taking him all day. So I'm like, you going to sit at this kitchen table, bruh, and write out words, your name, ABCs, computer work. You can be tired as hell. You can go take a nap, come back, eat, come back. We don't do this work. So, yeah, but that outside, they don't do that no more. But even that, you got to watch. There was a time when all you did was go outside and everything else slack. So the moderation, the temperance is on all levels. You know, dealing with the men. You know, you got to be temperate towards your women, towards your wife, towards your kids. You can't be the lion in your house, yelling and screaming about every single thing. Everything pisses you off. Everything makes you mad. You lash out on every little thing that happens. You know, I had to be careful with that back in the day where just I let life beat me down. And when I went home, they were like the punching bags. Not literal punching bags, but that's who I released steam on. Where you got to be careful of that. That's how you destroy spirits. So it's about being temperate in everything. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 18 and verse 30.
Go ahead.
Go not after thy lust.
Do what?
Go not after thy lust.
Come on.
But refrain thyself.
Read.
From thine appetite.
Yeah, it says refrain. Now, how would I refrain myself from my appetite? Well, you got to examine yourself. You got to know, what is my lust? What am I lusting after? Is it women? Is it men? You know, do I got that lust demon? Do I lust? Looking at, checking social media. Do I lust to be on my phone and every 5 minutes I find myself, I'll turn the phone off. You just watch people, man. They'll do this. Flick, flick, flick. Turn the phone off, put it down. They'll 2 seconds later. Like something changed in 2 seconds on the phone. Ain't a damn thing changed. You know, what am I, is it food? Am I constantly giving myself the lust of my appetite? Am I always hungry? Well, idle hands teach of much evil. So you got to check the idleness of a person. What are you doing? What are you keeping busy in? But read it one more time.
Good. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lust.
Come on.
But refrain thyself from thine appetite.
Yeah, those appetites come in all shapes and forms. Alcohol, food, women, men. cars, you lust after shoes. You got to get every pair, every color, the same shoe in every color. You know, clothing, just having possessions, just having things. You lust after having the new upgraded whatever it is. I always have to have the new. My name's New because I gotta have the new, right? You lust being on the phone. You're lusting after the attention of another person. That appetite. Think about all these social media junkies. Their appetite, they're lusting for those likes. They're lusting for that acknowledgement that somebody thinks you're pretty. You kids got to be careful of that. Falling into that lust. You girls especially. I got to make sure that my makeup and my hair, so when I put my picture up, if it don't get 1,000 thumbs up, I'm going to kill myself. Or I'm going to think that I'm not good enough. So you got to restrain from those appetites. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 8 verse 7. Wisdom of Solomon 8 verse 7. You know, as we, you know, you got to understand, man, that the Spirit teaches us how to dwell in everything, in every arena, and how to really just maneuver the right way. When you look at Yahushua, think about it. When was he overly too much? When was he overly aggressive? When was he overly, you know, joyful or overly sad or overly anything? When was he excessive in anything?
He wasn't.
He never was, because his temperance in all things, it was always there. He always knew what the right seasoning, the right amount to apply. He knew how much to chastise. He knew how hard to check. He knew how much to bless. You know, so that's what the mind that we got to get into. Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 7.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 verse 7. And if a man love righteousness,
go ahead.
Her labors are virtues.
If a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues. Now, what are virtues? It says patience is a virtue, right?
Good.
Well, guess what? So is charity. So is love. So is meekness. So is temperance. Ain't just patience. Patience ain't the only virtue. Long suffering is a virtue. Love is a virtue. You know? So it's not just these things. Watch. Read on.
For she teacheth temperance.
Wait, what does righteousness do?
For she teacheth temperance.
Right, because temperance is this. Gain. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Righteousness teaches that my abundance can be for somebody else's lack. So the only reason why I would lust for having more of something is not for just my belly, but I'm on the things of others. See, a person that's they're not caring about other people's lack, other people's conscience, other people's, you know, if other people have an abundance, they don't care about that. They're just looking at what they have. The scriptures say, look not on the things of your own, but the things of others. Right?
Good.
Colossians 3:1 tells you to look on the things that are above. So, you know, 1 Corinthians 8 talks about, you know, not having a lack because it's supposed to be an equality. He that gathereth much, he that gathereth little. When they all brought it together, they had an equality. So if I'm temperate in all things, I can see that my abundance is now for this brother's lack if he came in short. And his temperance is this. I'm not going to get pissed off because I didn't gather as much as this brother. Because he's going to understand that the brother that is next to him is there to make that up. Right. See, it's a ebb and flow, you know, of thinking where I'm not going to get upset if I underperform. I'm not going to get too excited when I overperform. Because it's supposed to even out at the end of the day. Read on.
For she teacheth temperance and prudence.
Come on.
Justice and fortitude.
Justice. Justice, being just. That's talking about doing things the right way, but for an equality. You know, if I judge justly, I'm doing it fair. That's right. It's fair judgment, fair justice. Justice is supposed to be fair. It shouldn't be done out of somebody's anger. It shouldn't be done out of need and want. But a man has to be tempered to do what? Bring forth proper justice. If I'm supposed to judge between two matters, but I'm not tempered in my lust, and a brother knows that, you know, if I bring Quatazar, a pair of Jordans, he's going to show some favor to me, my temperance ain't there. I'm not supposed to receive that gift. It says a gift destroy the heart. Right? But it tells you in Deuteronomy, when our judges were picked to execute justice, Moses told them what?
Judge righteous.
He said, judge righteous judgment, don't take no gifts. Right. He said the men had to be, they couldn't be covetous. You see that? So temperance has to do with being covetous and wanting an excess. Because if we're to be judges, think about it, we went into judgment, right, for the first class. A proper judge, think about how they get these judges in this world, in this society. What do? They buy them off, they pay them off, right? Because they're not tempered in their greed. They're not tempered in their lust for money. There's no temperance there. Their thing is, I need more, so I'm going to pervert judgment to get more. You see how that works? So we got to be tempered in all things. Read on.
Which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life.
You see that? Temperance, prudence, justice, and fortitude. It said there's nothing more profitable. Because with temperance comes long-suffering. With temperance comes charity. With temperance comes peace. See, when you're temperate in all things, I don't got to fight with you about what I have and what I don't have. I don't got to look at you with an evil eye about what I have, what you have, and what I don't got. There's no, damn, I need that. I need what he got. There is none of that with temperance. Because with temperance comes discipline and contentment. Y'all understand that?
God.
Titus 2 and verse 11. Titus chapter 2 and verse 11. Just a few scriptures on the understanding of what temperance is. Titus 2 and verse 11. So it says that if a man love righteousness, basically it's going to teach you temperance. Now, how does this go about? It comes through, as we're going to read, it comes through the grace that the Most High gives us. The righteousness is about living godly. You know, you make mistakes, you might have lusted for something, you might have been greedy on something. The Most High didn't destroy you, but he shows you didn't need that. You didn't have to deal with it this way. You didn't have to do it this way. The grace comes back and teaches you, okay, let's deal with things the right way. Read that, Titus 2 and verse 11.
Titus chapter 2, verse 11. For the grace of Yahweh that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men.
Right.
Teaching us that.
What does it do?
Teaching us that.
Just like righteousness teaches us, this is part of it. Go ahead.
Denying ungodliness and worldly lusts.
Doing what?
Denying ungodliness and worldly lusts.
Right. Habitual moderation in the regard to indulgence of the natural appetites and passions. Your drink, your food, your sex, your cars, your clothes, your money, those are the worldly lusts. Now, is it wrong to have money? Is it wrong to have sex? Is it wrong to eat? Drink? No, but it is wrong when these things are taking precedent over everything else in your life. It is wrong when you're addicted, when you're a damn fiend. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Now you're mine.
So like we're talking about like the lust and things like that. So like the scripture really say all things are lawful but not expedient. The expedient is that representation like being overindulgent in it or just being.
All things are. What it's talking about is, yeah, all things are lawful under the law. Let's make that clear. All things under the law are lawful. So, but all things aren't needed at a time. Expedient is it. Does that need to be done right there and then? You know, it's like, I mean, I guess it's better to go there. Let's go there real quick. That's in Corinthians, right?
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's in. Where is it at, Lackarob? Watch this. Lackarob knows where it is. Yeah, when you said, yeah, watch. There's two of them, but there's one that I want.
It's 1 Corinthians 14 and 26.
Yeah. Is that the one I want? Let's see. That's terrible. I was just sitting right there. I want the one where it says all things are lawful. There's actually, you can get both. Watch this. Oh.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23.
1 Corinthians 10. I want the one that's in. Read
6 and 12.
Read 6 and verse. Hold that one. What's the other one? 10 and what?
10 and 23.
Right. It tells you right here. Watch. Read 10 and verse 23. 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient.
Right.
All things are lawful for me.
Right. So he repeated it like, bro, all things are lawful. Go ahead.
But all things edify not.
All things don't do what?
Edify not.
Jump over to 6 and 12.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 12. All things are lawful unto me.
Right.
But all things are not expedient.
You see that? He repeated it. Right? Watch this. Yeah, all things are not profitable. So, you know, think about it. Is it lawful for a man to have more than one wife?
Good.
Is that needed for every man?
Nah.
Is that profitable for every man?
Nah.
So that's what it's saying. All things, it's lawful. I can eat, listen, I can eat is it lawful to eat meat? Hell yeah. But is it profitable to eat 8-ounce steaks at one sitting? That's not profitable. That's not helpful for my spirit. Watch, read on.
Good. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any.
Right, because again, it's lawful to have women. It's lawful to eat, drink, but where it does get unlawful is where you're not brought under the power of the food, where that demon takes over. Where you're brought under the power of the drink, where every night you got to hit the Four Loko. You got to have at least one, because that's how you ease your brain. Where, you know, you got to, if you won't fall asleep until you scroll through social media for 30 minutes and hit Instagram. You know, that's how some people think. Like, if I don't check up on my Facebook, I got to check my Facebook. Check it for what? You'll know when you're notified. That's the only time I look at Facebook, when I get a notification. And half the time I don't even want to look at them. I'm like, man, stop. It'd be a bunch of BS. People trying to battle and just filth.
God.
What's up?
No, I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm like, damn, man, it's like so much that I do personally, where it's like, it's not. Is it lawful? Yes, but is it expedient? No, it's not. And when I look at it, I'm like, damn, like maybe, like instead of me trying to battle these things, man, let me just start getting into these healthy habits. When I say healthy habits, like instead of me checking my phone, looking through the news, because I don't be on social media, I look on like the news and stuff to see what's going on. Let me just get into this habit of actually starting to read certain scriptures and do other things to replace the negative habits that I do have. You know what I mean?
But I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this. There's nothing wrong with looking at the news, but if you're addicted to doing it, then there's something wrong. But you know, some people think about it. You're looking at the news for what? Because I can justify you searching the news. Why?
I'm not looking. Why am I looking at the news?
Yeah, are you looking for anything?
I'm not looking for nothing. It's just a reason to be on the phone.
Oh, then there it is. Yeah, you have to kill that habit. It's one thing if you're looking for news to say, oh, this is happening, we build this class, blah, 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 blah. But if you're just doing it just so you can have your phone lit up,
it's just,
that's a demon.
What I started doing with the social media, I don't think I was ever, like, addicted. It wasn't something that I just had to get on every morning or whatever. But I did find myself, like, I'd get up and my light would be flashing on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'd get up and I'd want to see what the light was. And then it would bleed over into social media.
Oh, yeah.
So what I started doing was, because I found myself doing that, like, a lot. It was becoming a habit. So before I would do that, I would start praying. I would get up and that would be the first thing I would do, would be pray. And I found myself, the prayer would lead to more positive things. Like, I wouldn't even pick up
Right, the phone is like
Let's
secondary.
say the phone would be like, I would forget that my light was flashing or whatever, because then that spirit of the Most High would propel me to do.
Yeah, it jumpstarts that day.
Yeah.
Let me go brush my teeth first.
Listening to the Bible, listening to the audio Bible.
Right.
Or reading more scriptures, after prayer. Start reading the scripture, and then that would turn into a whole chapter, and so on and so forth. So I started doing that, and I found that the social media was like a total afterthought. The phone's gonna ring, you're gonna look at the messages eventually or whatever, but it didn't have to be the first thing in the morning to start my day.
First of all, this is how you know y'all got demons, or some people got demons on them. The Bible apps are social media apps too. Did y'all know that?
Good.
That YouVersion Bible app, you can add friends. You can see what they're doing. But how come y'all don't be on that? How come we don't jump on that first thing? You know what I got now? The first thing that pops up on my phone, when I go to my home screen, the first home screen is the Bible verse of the day. That's the first thing. Yeah, the first thing that pops in my head, that pops up on my phone is a Bible verse. It gotta be, because that light starts flashing. You're like, let me check that message. Next thing you know, you done ripped off 3 hours. You forgot to get dressed for work. Because you just ripped off 3 hours on Facebook. Facebook is a wormhole. So why do you think I don't go on YouTube? I don't go on YouTube to watch anything except for if I got to check something for class or I'm searching for something in particular. You hop on YouTube, you watch one of our videos and it skips you over to this video, then this, next thing you know, you're watching like soft porn, but you were trying to watch class. But 8 hours later, it was like, how the hell did I get into the weekends video?
You see that a lot if you read the YouTube comments and you see certain videos. They'll be like, I started off watching how to fix brakes.
Next thing you know, you watching something else. Because it's a wormhole. It goes off of all the things that you ever searched, and it throws it right there in front of you. But go ahead. Where are you at?
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 13. Meats for the belly.
No, jump back up to the
verse 12.
Yeah, verse 12.
Good. All things are lawful unto me.
Right.
But all things are not expedient.
Right.
All things are lawful for me. But I will not be brought under the power of any.
Right, and that's what it's about, not being brought under the power of any. Right?
Good.
Go back real quick. I'm going to show you. Go back to 1 Corinthians 10. I like that you pulled that. That was good. 1 Corinthians 10 and 23.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient.
Right.
All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not.
Read verse 24.
Let no man seek his own.
Let no man do what?
Seek his own.
Read.
But every man another's wealth.
Right. The problem with temperance and not being moderate is that you're seeking your own. Now, what happens when you got a young brother with you, y'all are out, you get a little drink, but you drink too much, and you got this young brother there, and you drink to the point where you're just falling all over everybody. Let's go, guys. Right? And you just sounding all demonic, and you tripping over the damn wait staff and just looking like a damn fool. And then you end up saying something to the brother. Or you know how some bros get, they end up like this for some reason, like alcohol equals ninja. Right? Alcohol equals like I'm a damn tournament fighter. Right. You start drinking, all of a sudden you want to practice all your ninja moves. And then what happens? You punch a brother in the face. Bow! Automatically, what is he? Offended. Pissed off, mad, angry. Because he ain't going to hit you back because he's a brother. He knows that your ass been drinking. But see, that lack of moderation comes, that lack of temperance, that brings offenses. Go to Philippians 4 and 5. This is why the scriptures tell us this in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 5. Read that.
Philippians chapter 4 and verse 5. Let your moderation be known unto all men.
Yeah, our moderation in all things, our temperance and everything should be known unto all men. How? Well, they know in the way that you deal in your moderation. A brother can tell, like, okay, he got a drinking demon on him. Because when he gets the Four Loko and the Steel Reserves in him, he acts like a damn brute beast. Oh, this dude got a lust demon because every chick that walks by, he's commenting on the contour of her buttocks and the size of her cup, right? Oh, you can tell this dude got a food demon because he's always hungry.
Right.
This nigga, all he talk about is video games. God damn, like, that's all he's about. All he's about is getting some carnal possession. Your moderation should be known unto all men in all things. Ecclesiasticus 33:29. I'm running out of time. It's all good. The temperance is supposed to stop the offenses. Ecclesiasticus 33:29.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 33 and verse 29.
Go ahead.
Be not excessive toward any.
Because why? All things are lawful. All things are not expedient. Right? The whole point was that I'm not supposed to be seeking my own belly and my own greed, but I'm supposed to be seeking what does the brother next to me want? What does the sister next to me need? Do they need to see me pound down 8 beers? Do they need to see me eat 5 steaks in one sitting? Do they need to see me stuff my face? Do they need to see me lust after every chick? That's not what they need to see. Because that's where wait a minute, I thought y'all were supposed to be spiritual. I thought y'all were supposed to be in the Bible. I thought y'all were about God. That's where that comes from, where now you got people looking at you like you ain't godly. Because all you worried about is eating, drinking, sleeping with some women. Shoes, clothes. All you do is talk about carnal things. You sit on your phone all day. How can that be a godly man? People look at that and then they say, wait a minute, this is what the Bible's about? We know that's not what it's about. Read on.
And without discretion, do nothing.
Right. Discretion, knowing how much, knowing when, where, and how. How much do I have to eat? Or knowing that, what manner of brother am I with? Am I with the brother that's fighting a drinking spirit? If I'm with a brother that's fighting a drinking spirit, we ain't gonna go out to go drink. I don't give a damn what he says. Yeah, I'm good. No, I can hold my liquor. Guess what? You fighting demons, bro. So guess what we gonna go do? We gonna go study. We gonna go kick it somewhere else. We gonna go over these breakdowns. We gonna do something that doesn't cater to your lust. Because I'm looking at not the things of my own self, but the things of other. If I know a brother if a brother's talking about I'm on a fast and I'm hungry, I'm gonna say, well, listen, I'm about to go eat. You ain't gotta come with me. We do it all the time. We work together. One brother's on a fast, one brother's not. Hey, you mind if I eat? Brother's like, no, I'm good. You good? Go ahead and eat. Or hey, I'm gonna go grab something to eat. I'm gonna be out at the food court and not by the cart, so you can smell it, inhale it, and you're like, damn, I gotta go eat, man. Screw the fast. You know, it's all these things, man. You know, even we deal at the business, at the cart, in the mall, where a lot of different types of individuals with different mind states come through. But if you're the brother that's always pulling over the chick that's scantily clad, she got the booty shorts up to her neck, everything's always tight, nipple rings showing. If you always pulling over that chick, and you with the new brother that's there working, he's gonna look like, okay, something wrong here. That don't seem right. That ain't godly. Where is that in the Bible? We know that Christ dealt with the publicans and sinners, but damn, was he just surrounded with whores? You know, brothers get offended off of that. Like, y'all just did. People look at that, you know, they look at us in the mall like they have some bad misconceptions about us in the mall. And we don't feed into it. Because yes, we have a lot of women at the cart, but we have a lot of men. We have more men at the cart than women. For some reason, they always see the women. Like, yeah, y'all always got chicks at the cart. Yeah, but I sold to like 100 men, and you just see one chick, and you think I always got women at the cart? Like, they say that to us, like, y'all are some players. Like, no, we ain't. We doing our damn job. We're becoming all things to all men. So, you know, it's all these things that we got to be conscious of, the temperance and not knowing. I'm not going to go overboard. Even though I got the chick at the cart that ain't got no damn clothes on, I'm trying to sell her something. I'm going to rouse her up just enough to get the sale, but I'm not going to, next thing you know, I'm smearing oils all over her cleavage. I'm not doing that. Or I'm rubbing down her legs at the cart. I'm not doing that. I got to be temperate to know, okay, how far do I go? Or I'm always, they look at us with everything we do. Like, they'll tell you straight up. The Spirit will check you. They'll be like, man, y'all are always eating. It's like, damn, we are? And then you got to sit back and say, damn, well, we did go here. We did go here. And then somebody dropped off food here. And that was all in one day. Okay, we need to dial back what we're doing. The Spirit will check you. They'll tell you straight up. And it's like, damn, okay, we got to be careful of what we're doing. But, you know, much more for each other's sake, because we don't want to offend and have brothers and sisters thinking that the truth is one thing, that the Bible is one thing when it's not. Go to 1 Corinthians 8 and verse 9. 1 Corinthians 8 and verse 9.
1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9.
Read.
But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block.
Become a what?
A stumbling block.
Because again, all things are lawful. It's lawful to eat, drink, women. It's all lawful. But we don't want the liberty that we have to become a stumbling block. Go ahead.
To them that are weak.
To them that are what?
To them that are weak.
Right, because they're looking at how much you indulge in something. It's like, if all I'm talking about with a brother is video games, like, I'm about to go home and play a new video game. He's going to think like, wait a minute, so you got up here by playing video games? I'm going to play video games all day too. See, he didn't realize that it took work, study, this, that. So I can't push out there, oh, I'm going to go home and play the Madden 2018. That can't be my conversation. Because in his weak mind, he's going to think like, well, I'm going to go home and play Madden too. I'm going to go home and play video games too and never study. And then when it's time, like, hey, you got your breakdown for, Color of Christ, you got that? No. Well, what were you doing? Playing Madden. But why? Well, because Quatazab, that's all he said he was doing. Oh, wait, I just caused a brother to stumble through my liberty. So we got to be careful where you're not, even the way we talk about things, you're not always putting out there, oh, I'm about to go play Madden. I'm about to go play Madden. I'm about to go hit that 2K. I'm about to go hit that 2K. You got to be on the opposite end. Even, I might go play 2K all damn day. As long as my scriptures is down. But I know I'm not doing that. I don't even play video games. I got an Xbox and ain't seen a video game in years. Read on. Read verse 11.
1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 11. And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish.
And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish. Go ahead.
For whom Hamashiach died.
Right. He's saying, should a weak brother perish because you are immoderate, your lack of temperance towards anything, and a brother sees that, you're going to cause him to stumble because of your lack. See, this is where that effect comes. Go ahead, read verse 12.
But when ye sin, so against the brethren, and wound their weak conscience.
And do what?
And wound their weak conscience.
Yeah, with that lack of moderation. Go ahead.
Ye sin against Hamashiach.
Right. So go to Titus chapter 1 and verse 7. We got to see that, even for growth. Even for a man to grow in the ranks of the clergyhood, the clergy of the church, of the school. You got to be temperate, man. You got to be moderate. You can't be excessive in anything. Read Titus chapter 1 verse 7.
Titus chapter 1 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
For a bishop must be blameless.
He must be what?
He must be blameless.
Go ahead.
As the steward of God.
Read on.
Not self-willed.
Not what?
Self-willed.
Right, so you can't be excessive in your own ego. You can't be excessive in your will. You got to be excessive in the will. Think about Christ. He was excessive towards the will of the Most High. Not towards what he wanted. Else we wouldn't be here. I'm sure what Christ wanted was not to die. What Christ wanted was not to be beat, stoned, chased from city to city. I'm sure he wanted to sit around with his mama and daddy and kick it too. I'm sure that's what no man wants to just die. You see that? But he was excessive towards the will of the Most High. Go ahead.
Not soon angry.
Not what?
Soon angry.
Not excessive in that anger. Read.
Not given to wine.
Not excessive in the wine. Read.
No striker.
Not
given to filthy lucre.
Go ahead.
But a lover of hospitality.
Wait, he got to be what?
A lover of hospitality.
Go ahead.
A lover of good men.
Read.
Sober.
He got to be sober-minded, whether in doctrine and obviously in his intake of liquor. He couldn't be given to the wine. It says that. But he had to be sober in his thoughts. Read on.
Just.
Read.
Holy.
And what else?
Temperate.
He had to be what?
Temperate.
He had to be moderate. He had to be moderate. You have to be a moderate drinker. You have to be moderate in the way in your tone. Everything couldn't be a yelling match. You couldn't be moderate physically. You couldn't be excessive where now I get so angry, I'm beating on you. I'm trying to beat the word into my wife. No, you got to be temperate. Your temper had to be calm, cool, collected. Go ahead, read. Go to Proverbs 25 and 28. Very important, man, because what it boils down to is that if I want to grow, if I want to grow up spiritually, if I want to grow up to be something in the truth, if you want to be something in life, you can't be some brute beast animal that just does things in excess. Read Proverbs 25 and verse 28.
He that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Yeah, a city with no walls that's broken down. What happened to that city?
It's overthrown.
It got overthrown. That city got pillaged and ran through.
Good. Got conquered.
It got conquered. Well, conquered by what? What did it get conquered by? By the lust that man is attracted to. Those temptations took over. Paul said, all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. I will not be brought under the power of any. But see, a man that can't rule his own spirit, you're being brought under the power. You're being destroyed by your liquor, your food, the women, the pursuit of money, cars, cash, clothes, hoes, all a nigga knows. If that's all you know, that's going to conquer and destroy you. Wine, women have destroyed kings, right? Wine and women. So we got to be, and it's not just about wine and women, you know, pride. Pride goes before destruction. Anger. Anger causes folly, right? Anger brings forth folly. That destroys many. So it's all these things that we got to look at in ourselves and say, wait, what am I not tempered in? What do I got to be more tempered in? What do I got to get better at controlling my spirit in? What do I lust for? Do I lust for power? Some men, some women lust for power. Some women lust to be next to the guy that has power. Some men lust for the power. What do I want? I lust for control. Some of you sisters, you lust to be in control. And then you wonder why your household don't work out, why it's falling. Because you're not tempering yourself in the authority. I want to usurp authority. I'm lusting for the control. I'm lusting to tell my husband what to do and to rule my husband. But see, you're like a city that's broken down without walls. That lust for control and power has overtaken you. Now you're weak because there's no strength in that. Go to 1 Corinthians 9:25.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery.
Every man that striveth for what masteries? What masteries is it talking about? Well, it's talking about all those spiritual gifts that brothers want. All those striving for spiritual, the spiritual powers, the understanding, the knowledge, the wisdom, all the spiritual assessment. You want to be endowed spiritually. You want to be endowed with long suffering, the fruits of the spirit, the meek, the temperance, the joy, the long suffering, the peace. You want to strive for these masteries, but what do you have to do? Read.
That striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
He's what?
Temperate in all things.
Yeah, he's not given to his lusts. For the man that's striving for mastery, you got to be temperate. You got to let the righteousness teach you. You got to let the grace teach you how to deny the lust. You know what it's showing? That this man, this woman, they learn from their mistakes. Because you might not have been temperate in your lust. But now you're examining yourself and seeing, wait a minute, whoa, whoa, whoa. When I gave into the lust of the flesh when it came to dealing with this woman, and you know, it didn't turn out well. I might have did that 2-3 times, made the same mistake, 3 different women. It ain't turning out the right way. Let me come back, reevaluate, and approach a different way. Let me restrain myself from moving too fast. Maybe I move too rashly with women, and I'm too forceful. Well, now let me take my time. Let her take her time. Let her learn, grow. Oh, I'm 3 years in with a woman now. Oh yeah, because I moved. I did things the right way. I discerned. I was discreet. I used discretion. That's what it's about. Discretion, discipline. You know, the one thing about, we all got scriptures, right?
God.
When a brother has, or a sister has every scripture that tells them about lust, and they fall to the lust, what do they lack?
Temperance.
No, I said it. It starts with a D.
Discernment.
Oh, discipline.
They lack discipline. How do they lack discipline? Somebody explain. Who knows how? Because you have the scriptures, right? You got the scriptures on lust. Refrain from your lust, appetites, all the 30,000 scriptures. Boom. Then you have the battle over here. What's missing in between? He had his hand up first.
Oh, it's the discipline, but it's the temperance. And it's the exercise of being able to actually...
It's the what?
It's the exercise of actually being able to go through something.
What is the exercise called?
Wisdom.
What is wisdom? Because you have the...
Application of knowledge.
It's the what?
Application of knowledge.
The correct application. So what is missing in between these two things where a brother, he got all the 1,000 scriptures, he got 5 Bible apps, he got his Bible is highlighted, like he just dipped it in the highlighter ink, right? He just took the whole Bible and just threw it in the big highlighter ink. Boom. He got everything highlighted, right? He's in there. He got all the classes, binder this thick. Lust. Here's the battle. Thou shalt not lust. The battle. What's missing right here? Well, it's discipline is lacking. The discipline of what?
Understand.
Nah, it's the Okay, let's see if you know. It's easy.
Is it the Proverbs 25 and 28? You can't control your spirit. So it's like that lack of control of your spirit.
Right, but what is that lack of control? What does it show about this person?
He's still a baby.
The lack is application. It's very simple. You have the word. You have the battle.
Spirit.
It's all it is application. I gotta be disciplined enough to apply what I have. You have it. Look, you got the knowledge, right? This is the knowledge. What makes a man wise? His correct application of the knowledge.
Gotcha.
So you can have knowledge all you want, but what does it say about knowledge? Knowledge puffeth up, right? Because all knowledge is just a bunch of things that you know. But what about putting it to work? See, let me explain it like this. Long suffering, right? Now, what is long suffering? Suffering longer than you think you're supposed to, right? Going through something longer than you think you have. Like, how am I? Let me get over this. And he's like, nope, 5 more months. Nope, another year. Nope, another 10. Whatever it may be, but long suffering. Now, we got all the scriptures of he that endureth unto the end. You know, the fruits of the Spirit, long suffering. We got all these scriptures on long suffering. And we understand what long suffering is. It's suffering longer than you think you should. But what happens is you might suffer long, and then you say, you know what? I'm tired of suffering. What did you just do? You stop applying. You stop disciplining yourself enough to apply the wisdom that you have. It's no different with being temperate. Temperance is, I know that 5 beers will get me faded out the block, and I'll just be a stumbling idiot, but I'm going to drink 6. The wisdom, the knowledge is this. If I drink 5 beers, I'm going to be drunk as hell. Right? The discipline is, well, let me go out and drink 2 beers. Right? The discipline is, let me drink 2 beers. And I'm going to apply that discipline to my life over and over and over. But then I might get into a realm where I'm like, damn, I'm about to hit this whole 6-pack. You stopped applying and letting discipline control you. You know what you really go there real quick. Go to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. I wasn't gonna throw this in here. What's that, Jeremiah?
Is that when you allow yourself to be brought under the power of it?
That's when you allow yourself to be brought under the power. Like Paul said, I keep under my body. Right. I'm on top of myself. Because why? I'm constantly taking the knowledge that I have and applying it to my life. I'm not sitting back like, oh yeah, I already know that. God, I already know that. I already know all them scriptures about drinking. I already know all them scriptures about women. I know that. But yeah, you know. That's knowledge. But where's your wisdom? See, in between the two, it's Wisdom of Solomon.
6 and 17.
That might not be it. What do I want? What do I want?
Very true.
Yes, that's it. Right on target. Read it. Go ahead.
God, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 17.
Before you go there, go to Wisdom of Solomon. There was one that I wanted to hit. Wisdom of Solomon. No, go ahead. That's it. Go ahead. That's the one I want.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
It's talking about wisdom. See, you can't get wisdom unless you desire discipline. Unless you desire to be under discipline and apply. You'll never get wisdom if you don't be disciplined. Because what will happen is you'll miss the part where you transition from having the knowledge, which is all the words on the paper, the thick-ass notebook, all the Bible apps. You got 8 Bible apps. You got all the dictionaries. You go from that, you miss the transition of knowledge, wisdom. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, right? Well, wisdom is the correct application of knowledge. So you missed that application part because you forgot about discipline. That's where we mess up, where it gets into temperance. We forget to constantly apply things to our life. We forget to examine ourselves and say, wait a minute, I know I'm feeling this way, whatever it is, man. Woman, I ain't been with a woman in a long ass time. Now, if I don't constantly apply the things that's been keeping me to this point, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be like that city because I forgot to rule my spirit. How? Through the knowledge, through the application, through discipline. Knowledge, discipline, application, wisdom. Ta-da! Because wisdom shows you the right or wrong way. Oh, I applied this is the outcome. Wrong. Oh, I applied this way, this is the outcome. Right. Now I'm wise enough to know what to apply in the situation. Now what I have? Discernment, discretion. You see how all these things come through. It ain't just about knowing something. We know all the damn Bible verses. We know all the scriptures. Y'all know all this. But the lack of temperance comes when we forget to chase after discipline. Nobody wants to be disciplined. It's like, I know I should eat right. We all know that, right? I know I shouldn't be hitting this McDonald's. I know I shouldn't be hitting this Red Bull. I know I shouldn't have drank this damn soda. I know better. But the discipline to say, let me keep under my body. Let me not become a damn puppet to my flesh. Right? Let me keep applying the things that keep my mind strong and not chasing after my lusts. That's where the wisdom comes from. Read on.
God. And the care of discipline is love.
The care of what?
Discipline is love.
Love for who?
The brethren.
Love for the brethren. Love for yourself. Love for Christ. Love for the ministry. Love, you got brothers, man. The scriptures say the brethren's hearts, the church, the altar, it rests on us. But this is how you know brothers don't love the ministry. They don't love the brethren because they'll be drunkards on the low. They'll eat to their heart's content, to their guts pop open, and they can't move to go do the damn ministry. That's how you know that, a brother don't really care, because you look at how he treats himself. How can you be a vessel for the Most High, drunk, overweight, fat, can't move? You can't go out there to teach. You don't study. You're not disciplined enough to dive into that book and say, I'm gonna be addicted to the ministry. How can you say you love the brothers if you don't do the things necessary to show that love? Think about it, man. How can a wife say she loves her husband if she's not diving in there to do the wife duties? If she's not diving in there to clean her mind up so she's not over rebuttaling, over prideful, over emotional? How can you say that you got love for anything but yourself if you're doing the things that destroy you, but it destroys the love for you and it destroys the love towards others? You see how that works? Your lack of temperance will show how much you really love. It'll show your level because it shows your lack of discipline or your level of discipline, because the discipline is for two things. It's for you to continue to apply, and it's to continue for you to get wise. But you'll show your true colors when you say, you know what? I don't want to be disciplined in that. I don't want to discipline myself when it comes to eating, when it comes to drinking, when it comes to my lust, when it comes to video games, when it comes to studying, when it comes to the way I talk towards my kids, yelling, screaming, cuss. I don't want to be disciplined in these things. I really don't care. I don't care about me. I don't care about the ones that I affect. Y'all understand that, right? Go to Ecclesiasticus 23. Ecclesiasticus 23 and verse 4.
God.
Damn, bro.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 23 and verse 4.
Oh, that's not a lot more. Go ahead.
O Lord, Father and power of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from thy servants always a haughty mind.
A what?
A haughty mind.
Yeah, you got to pray for the Most High to block that haughty mind. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Turn away from me vain hopes.
Read.
And concupiscence.
Somebody look that up. Go ahead.
And thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve thee.
This is how we get held up. This is how the Most High fights for us. Because your desires, your lust got to be to serve the Most High. You see that? This is where the growth, this is where the brotherhood, the love, this is where it comes from. Read on. Read verse 6.
Verse 6. Let not the greediness of the belly, nor
what?
Let not the greediness of the belly,
come on,
nor lust of the flesh take hold of me,
come on,
and give not over me thy servant into an imputed mind.
You know why you gotta pray to the Most High for this daily and constantly check yourself daily? Because every day we're tempted. Every day something in your way for you to say, you know what? Let me get a little bit more of that. Let me get a little bit more of that. You're going to eat something and be like, damn, that was so good. I need seconds. How you going to have seconds before you even finish firsts?
Man.
How you going to want 2 Cinnabons and you didn't even eat the first one? Right. And then 2 Cinnabons is death. I remember the sister used to work at Glazed. And I remember we used to get the donuts.
Gone.
Sis, oh, them donuts are devilish. Listen, she dropped off a 7-pack. I ate 1 donut and I thought I was going to die at the cart. I felt my sugar, it went to the roof, and then my legs started, I had to sit down, my legs started hurting. I was like, wow.
1 donut?
1 donut. She'll tell you how much sugar they got. That's not a regular donut. These donuts, I'm talking about like icing like a birthday cake. Yeah, and it's not that light whipped icing that you're like, oh, this is pleasant to the taste buds. This is that icing that fondant, when you bite into it, it's like sugar times 1,000, and it hits right into the stream, and you start shaking. Humana, Shazam! Right? You just turn into a crackhead. Listen, I ate that donut, man. But this was the problem. I ate the one donut, and I was like, damn, there's a cheesecake donut. It was me and my garage.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? We were like, oh, we love cheesecake. Right. And I was like, man, that cheesecake donut, oh my God. Listen, man, I ate that donut. I think I was sick for a week. I couldn't eat the rest of those donuts. I ended up giving those away. But there's always something where you don't got to fall to that. You just got to keep applying and say, you know what? Wait a minute. Go not after thy lust. Don't be greedy upon meats. Moderation. All these things, you got to let them ring in your head. Because as soon as you drop your guard, it's like, next thing you know, you're eating 5 glazed donuts and you're dying in the middle of the streets from hypertension. Bro, I swear to God, I got diabetes that night. I went into some type of shock. He'll tell you. I was like, whoa, okay. There's something wrong here. I had to sit. I sat back. And I was like, oh, yeah, I feel sick. It was too, my body couldn't handle it. And I knew better. But I did it. But imagine if I would have got, like, something would have happened from that. Who was to blame? Well, myself, my lack of discipline and application. Good. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 13.
Good.
This is what we always got to remember. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13.
Wow. Yeah, go ahead.
There had no temptation taken you, but such as is coming to man.
And this is the thing. Now with the donut situation, where does the wisdom come in? The wisdom is this. Where does the grace? You see, it says the grace teaches us, right?
Good.
To deny fleshly lusts and live godly. Now, the grace taught me that, okay, I didn't have to die of a heart attack that night. Now I know, okay, don't eat glazed donuts. Not even one. It's too much. I've learned that lesson that one glazed donut, it does something to my legs, all that sugar. Man, I got sick that night. But I haven't had one since. I had to tell my ribs, stop bringing those home. The kids, they don't need that, because if I'm affected like that by one, I can imagine what their little bodies are. She's like, oh, it's only half. I'm like, hell nah. Any donut with Rice Krispies treats on it is the devil. Oh my God. Listen, tell them. They got Oreos, the whole Oreo cookie on a donut. Yeah. Frosted, what was it? Fruity Pebbles?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Kit Kat, Snickers. But this cheesecake one, oh my God. Bro, you hit that down the middle and this the cheese, like, it was all bad. I'm talking about 7 donuts weighed like 15 pounds. It was that much sugar. Y'all think I'm playing? Y'all think I'm playing? Don't try it. But now I know that if I want to live, the Most High showed me, okay, that'll make you sick. No matter how good it tastes, it'll make you sick. Don't keep doing that. Don't follow after the lust. So now I gotta, every time I'm like, wait a minute, does it got a lot of sugar in it? Because the last time, no, I don't want that. No, oh, Chick-fil-A? No, I can't do that. It's a constant checking your mind. Because the temptations are always going to be there, food and drink. Oh, but 5 beers, that'll get me way past where I got to be at. Well, let me just have 2. I had to do that to myself years ago, man. Because there was a time, going out for me consisted of, oh my God, beers and drinks and shots and listen, it was bad. You get home blacked out. That's no bueno. That's not how you're supposed to do it. Because then things would happen, like I'm driving and the car would float in the air and not in a good way. I'm hitting speed bumps at 1,000 miles an hour and the car, listen, I remember one time, man, I was driving home from Waffle House, 4 a.m. It was me, my boy, we was drinking, we ate, I'm driving home. This is in Colorado, a couple years ago, man, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And there's some construction going on and the road curves. And I hit this curve and it was a bump. Curve, bump, construction. Hit the bump, the car lifted up into the air and it should have went over the railing. But somehow the Most High was like, no. And the car like literally, it might sound weird. But my boy pulled up next to me like, yo. He was like, yo, we both did like 30 miles home on the highway. We both was shook. I was scared as hell because the car hit the bump and the road turned and the car turned with the road. The car was supposed to go straight and go over the guardrail. That's how the car went up I was driving that fast. That damn Lexus, I used to push that thing. But the lack of temperance in drinking and moderation, man. The Most High showed me that night. After that night, I was like, 2 beer limit. I don't care where I'm at. 2 beer limit, 1 beer limit, I'm good. Especially if I'm driving, I'm good. I didn't have to die that night, but I could have. He knew I could. He knew I should have died that night. He pulled up next to me, like, yo, you good? Because you wasn't supposed to make it. We yelling at each other through the car window driving. Bro, we both drove home doing 30 miles an hour on the highway. Scared as hell because it was that real. So that wisdom comes through learning, through experience, but sometimes it ain't a good experience. Go ahead, read on. Let's finish up.
But Yahweh is faithful,
Uh-huh.
who will not suffer you to be tempted
Read.
above that ye are able.
Right, because there's always application that you can do. Read.
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape.
Right, because he'll throw a temptation out there, but even through that, he'll show you the way to get around it. There's always something to apply to say, you know what, I'm not going to give in to that. But you first got to be disciplined. You got to know that it's about discipline, love, moderation, temperance. Go ahead.
That ye may be able to bear it.
Right. Go to Romans 6 and verse 6. This is what we don't want to become, man. We don't want to be servants to our flesh. Because this is what happens to a brother or sister that's lacking the temperance, that lacks moderation. Read that. Romans 6 and verse 6.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him.
Go ahead.
That the body of sin might be destroyed.
Read on.
That henceforth we should not serve sin.
Because that's what it turns into. You turn into the servant of sin when you feed into those lusts, when you feed into those demons. You feed into one lust, you'll feed into them all. You feed into you'll feed into them all, and the next thing you know, you look back 6 months, it's like, how did I get here? Well, you fed into the lust of your flesh when it came to dealing with women. Now you have inordinate affections with your woman because you fed in. You fed into the lust of drinking. Oh, next thing you know, you locked up. DUI, hit and run. How did I get here? Well, it started with 1 or 2 beers. Then it went from 10 beers. Now I hit somebody on the road or got into an accident, DUI. How did I get here? You know, we don't want to fall into these things. The old man should be crucified with these doings. Romans 8 verse 7. 2 more scriptures and we're done.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 7.
Read.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh.
See, we got to remember that our carnal mind is always fighting against Yahweh. It's at odds with the spirit. Go ahead.
For it is not subject to the law of Yahweh.
Read.
Neither indeed can be.
Read on.
So then they that are in the flesh,
see, those that chase after their lusts, come on,
cannot please Yahweh.
Yeah, you can't please the Most High. Why? Because you got to be looking at the things that are above. We got to mortify that and not make provisions for the flesh. Read on.
But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit.
We should be. We should be. Go ahead.
If so be that the spirit of Yahweh dwell in you.
Jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors.
We are what?
Debtors.
Read.
Not to the flesh.
And this is what we don't want. We don't want to be debtors to the flesh. We don't want to be in debt to the flesh. Where I got to do everything that caters to my flesh. Everything that caters to that carnal mind, I got to give in. I got to be ruled by the flesh. You don't want to be ruled by the flesh. You want the spirit and the spiritual things that's what should guide us. To be carnally minded is death. To be spiritual minded is love, life, and peace. Read on.
Not to the flesh, to live after the flesh.
Come on.
For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die.
You shall what?
Ye shall die.
Read on.
But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body.
Right, because the deeds of the body is to do what? It's to do things more excessive than needed. Think about it. food. How many of us think we eat here? How many of us eat in moderation? What is moderation? When it comes, let me ask you a question. How much should one human being eat in one sitting? What do they say? Your fist size, right? Now, let's be honest. You get one burger from Whataburger. You get that number 2 double meat. Come on, dog. That thing is your fist and some. And then you hit the fries on top. So one value meal, you're already out of moderation instantly. But then think about this. Think about this. You go get your salad, right, from Chick-fil-A. Oh, I'm about to go eat a salad. About to eat healthy. About to get the balsamic vinaigrette. That salad ain't as big as your fist. Even if you open your hand, that salad is like this big. So think about it. I know Abadiah probably in there because she's really watching it. How much do you eat like on one meal maybe? Like let's say you eat breakfast or whatever. What would you hit? Abadiah.
Well, for breakfast it's like maybe a breakfast taco.
Yeah, something small.
Yeah.
And that would probably be it, right?
And that's it.
That's it. That's about the fist size.
That contains just vegetables and a corn tortilla.
Yeah. I know you're a vegetarian. Vegan. Excuse me. You don't eat the flesh, right? But think about it. You know, there's guidelines that we don't even follow in trying to even be healthy. I ain't gonna lie. When I eat salads, listen, bro, my bowls be. I can't eat no little bowl of salad. My salad bowl is like this, and I eat 2 of those. But then I walk around like, I just ain't healthy. Am I still fat? Because there still has to be a moderation because there's still me trying to cater to what part of the flesh? Filling my belly, right. Making sure that I'm full to the max to where I can't breathe. And if I breathe, a piece of lettuce is going to come up because the food is still right here. You see, but you see, that's the thinking where the discipline comes in to say, no, you need to eat a handful. You need to eat a fistful of salad and be content with that. Not fall into, well, it's salad. I can eat as much of it as I want. That's a mind game. You're just playing tricks on yourself. You're still in debt to the flesh. You're still indebted to the flesh. Go ahead, read on. Where you at?
Romans chapter 8, verse 13.
Jump down to 1 Peter 4 and 3.
First Peter chapter 4, verse 3. For the time past of our life.
The time when?
For the time past of our life.
Come on.
May suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
Right? So in your past life, man, before the knowledge, we did things according to the way the Gentiles said to do them. Yeah, get everything extra large, super sized. Remember when you got the super sized McDonald's? You got the jumbo size, the fries came in a box, and you killed that whole thing, and then you ate the quarter pounder with double cheese, and you ate the 40 ounce Slurpee. Come on, man, that was when we was in that Gentile mind. Listen, I'll tell you when I was like young, 16, 17, when I used to hit McDonald's and get me Burger King, double Whopper, fish sandwich, Frosty, fries, and then go play ball on top of that? Come on, man. I was a machine. But was it right? No. I was thinking, I'm young. I can eat all this. And I could, but now? Nah. I can't mess with the fast food like that because, the body gets old. I'm almost 40. I can't do that. I'll kill myself literally. If I eat too much of one thing that's processed, I'll start to feel it in the legs and the knees. Body starts to get dry. You got to know your body. You got to know that you can't become a debtor. You can't become a prisoner to your own flesh. Next thing you know, you can't walk, move around because you done ate too much of fast food. You done gave in to the lust. Think about it. You got brothers that run around trying to hit everything. What happens? You catch something. Next thing you know, you out of commission. Now I got to take 7 days of these pills. Can't move around like that. Or you out of commission for life. The Most High hit you with something detrimental. You get that monster, right? Now you can't even deal with a rib. You out of there. So definitely got to be careful. Read on.
When we walked in lasciviousness.
Yeah, you walked in lasciviousness. Go ahead.
Lust.
Read.
Excess of wine.
Read.
Rebellings.
Uh-huh.
Banquetings.
Uh-huh.
And abominable idolatry.
All these things, when you look them up, go into the excess of drinking, partying, more eating. It goes into the excess of things. That's what we did in our former lives. But as we read up, it said we were supposed to crucify that old man. So that's what we got to definitely work on. Go to 1 Peter 2 and 11.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims.
Go ahead.
Abstain from fleshly lusts.
Do what?
Abstain from fleshly lusts.
Go ahead.
Which war against the soul.
This is where the war comes from, man. We got to see that we create our own battles. And to get better at not even letting the battle come, discipline. The care of discipline. For the true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. You gotta say, you know what? I want to be a prisoner to doing things the correct way. Go to Galatians 5 verse 17. Somebody else get Romans 13:13. That'll be it.
Galatians chapter 5 verse 17.
Uh-huh.
For the flesh lusteth against the spirit.
What does it do?
Lusteth against the spirit.
Yeah, your carnal wants and needs lust against the spirit. What the spirit says, no, be disciplined. No, be temperate. Go ahead.
And the spirit against the flesh.
It's this battle, man. Go ahead.
And these are contrary.
Yeah, they don't want the same thing. The spirit wants one thing, your flesh wants another. The spirit's like, you know what? Get you a wife. The right way. Get you a law-abiding wife that's going to be down for you, a helpmeet. The flesh is like, I just need to hit something. She's going to be my wife. Let me just hit it. Right? But the spirit is like, no, take your time. Court her. Be betrothed for a year. Get to know her. That's what the spirit is saying. Get to know her. The flesh is like, nigga, I ain't know her. I know her favorite color. I know what kind of car she drives. I know where she lives. I know her. That's what the flesh is talking about. The flesh is like, eat in moderation so that way when you go to sleep, you'll get some good rest. Don't eat all the steaks. The flesh is like, bruh, them steaks smell good as hell. And I know I just ate one, but for some reason, there's something telling me I'm not full. So guess what? I'm going to chop all these steaks up, all 8 of them. I'm going to drown them in damn Tecate hot sauce, whatever hot sauce brothers love. A1, right? Why? Yeah, I'm going to just drown them. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to eat that at like 12 o'clock at night, try to fall asleep by 2, not get no sleep. I know I got to be up in the morning for work, and I'm going to complain like I'm tired. See, the flesh gets you into all types of calamities, man. The spirit's like, don't drink nothing. The flesh is like, shit, I need a drink to relax. Oh, I'm relaxed now after 12. But then guess what? Somebody said something to me I ain't like, now we fist fight. But the spirit said don't drink at all because something you have to be sharp. The flesh was like, but I need to relax. The spirit's like, no, you need to be on point. You don't need to relax right now. You see how that works? They're contrary one to another. The spirit is like, don't rebuttal when your husband tells you something. Your flesh is like, nigga, I gotta get my point across. I'm right too. I'm right too. I have an opinion. Right? I have an opinion. Next thing you know, 8-hour counsel because you had an opinion of why the spirit told you. Just don't say nothing. Just hear the whole matter and then answer. Or don't answer that way. Or check your pride. Or have a little humility when you say that. Be respectful when you answer him. Nah, I ain't doing that. Wait a minute, what? See, the flesh wants to carry out its natural passion. It wants to do the natural man thing, which is be a brute, beast, animal, demon, but act like it's righteous. That's what the flesh wants. The flesh wants to just be appeased. It wants to be comfortable. The flesh wants to be rubbed. It wants to feel good. It wants to be lazy. But see, the spirit is like, no, there's no time to be lazy. Get up and move. There ain't no time to be comfortable. Be uncomfortable. That's why they're contrary. Go ahead, read on.
Good. So that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
Right? And it works two ways. Because the things that you would do is be lazy, be slothful, be gluttonous, but then what happens? The spirit comes in and convicts your spirit. So you're like, oh, I ain't gonna do that. Right? Or it works another way where you're like, well, I'm gonna be lazy, gluttonous, and I'm not gonna care. So the things that you would do, the good things you would do, either you do them or you don't. The bad things you would do, either you do them or you don't. You see how that works? The things that you would, the good things or the bad things, but these things fight. It's like whoever watched Dexter.
Good.
I'm actually watching Dexter. I'm trying to finish that after like 30 years. But Dexter was about, he's a serial killer. And he goes and he chops people up, and he actually works for the police department. He works in the blood spatter department, forensics. But anyway, he says that he has a dark passenger. His dark passenger takes over, and that's what kills. So think about it. We got to stop letting what is our dark passenger? It's the old man. You got that conscience that rides with you. You got the good, the bad, and it's like, what am I going to give into? Am I going to give into the bad part of my conscience? Am I going to give into the little man right here that's saying, yeah, go to the club, find you a chick, hit it the first night. Yeah, eat all the McDonald's, eat all the donuts. Yeah, do it like that. Yeah, yell and scream. Yeah, get emotional. Yeah, drink the whole fifth of Henny in one sitting. Yeah, drink all that. Get blatantly drunk. Or are you going to feed into the spirit that says, no, take you a shot and take your ass to bed. Hit her up on the phone, say shalom, talk to her about some scriptures, go to bed. Eat, some fries or a salad. What do we give into? We don't want to give into the war. The temperance, the temperance comes in where it's no longer a war. It's no longer a battle. It's no longer, damn, am I gonna show up at the fast food window and order, the whole menu? Listen, if you at Wendy's spending $18 on yourself, there's something wrong. You spending $18 on the dollar menu for yourself, you getting 5 nuggets, 5 fries, and 5 little burgers. Yo, you gotta chill. You gotta cut that down, homie.
Good.
Hey, but there was a time. There was a time, man. Brother showed up to Wendy's. Status. You said what?
That's Shaquille O'Neal status.
Listen, but guess what? I'm gonna show you how that happens. Because you drank all night, and the hunger in you can't be satisfied. You like, just give me 5 of everything on the menu. You like, what? 5? You just spent $20. You got 5 burgers, 5 fries, 5 nuggets, 5 dipping sauces. You done sat there and waxed all that off. Wake up, and you wonder why you can't move the next morning. Why that hangover is even more real. Because they lied, you eat that greasy food, it sucks up all the alcohol. Oh, it don't? Come on, you were in college. I know you heard that all the time. Go eat all the grease you can, it sucks up all the alcohol. Or eat bread. It's like, no, it don't.
Taco Bell.
Go to Taco Bell and order like a 12-pack, right? Go get the party pack. Anyway, read one more. Romans. I've never heard of Dexter. Yeah, Dexter's an old show. It came on Showtime. I just be late. I started watching it when it first came out like 8 years ago, and then I stopped watching it in the last season. Romans 13 and 13. That's how I do it, man. Like I just finished Breaking Bad like 2 weeks ago.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 13.
Come on.
Let us walk honestly.
And this is what it's about, man. Being honest with oneself, knowing your demons, knowing where you fall short. Read.
As in the day.
As in the day, because the day is coming. The day is now. Go ahead.
Not in rioting.
Not in what?
Rioting.
Come on.
And drunkenness.
Read.
Not in chambering.
See, read on.
And wantonness.
There's nothing wrong with partying, drinking. There's nothing wrong with being with your wife. There's nothing wrong with wanting things. Go ahead.
Not in strife and envy.
Read on.
But put ye on the Yahushua the Mashiach.
Read.
and make not provision for the flesh.
This is what it's about. Not letting the flesh overtake the spirit. Not letting the flesh take over the spirit. Go ahead.
To fulfill the lust thereof.
Because that's what happens is you start to fulfill the lust of the flesh. You start to, if you're not honest with yourself, if you don't walk a certain way, if you're not constantly being disciplined, it takes discipline, man. Think about it. You know, working out. And what does it take? Discipline, because you got to wake yourself up. Show up to the gym. You know where people fail when they don't show up to the gym. As soon as you get there, you're like, well, might as well do it. But where people fail with working out, they're not disciplined to get up and get to the gym or get to the workout spot. You're not disciplined when it's time to eat right. You don't choose the right things. You go to the grocery store, you're like, damn, I want Cocoa Puffs. I want this. I want bread. I want this. I want that. Instead of saying, you know what, let me hit that vegetable aisle. When it comes to the drinking, you're not disciplined enough to say, you know what, let me not even go out. Because you're like, I'm going to go out, but I ain't going to drink. Nigga, stop. Stop it. Walk honestly with yourself. Be honest. You know you're going to go out and have a few. And then a few is going to turn into a few more. And then a few more. And you can't stop until you get the buzz. But your tolerance is so high that the buzz ain't going to come until you take down like 5, 6, 8, 12 Long Islands. You remember when you used to drink? Your first drink or two, you just get that nice tingling feeling in your face. Ain't nobody getting that no more. That's gone because that was when drinking was a new thing to your body, and it gave you that buzz. Like, okay, that's enough. Lips might get numb, face get a little bit tingly. You're like, okay, I'm good. But then when you drank past that, that's when you were and falling over and tripping over the DJ and stepping on all the chicks' feet in the club and spilling your drink all over everybody. Oh, my bad. And that's where that got to. You don't want to get there. Then you got in the car, you drove, punched people in the face that you were with, and car accident here, and you walked into the house and it was just loud, slamming all the doors, waking up everybody. We got to be honest with ourselves and know that when you cater to the little bit of that flesh, how far it takes you. Think about how many people got babies off of one drink. Right? It was just one drink. But yeah, now you got a chick pregnant. One drink, now you got a DUI. One drink, it was just one tub of ice cream. Now you just overweight and mad. So we got to be honest with ourselves, man. Any questions? Any questions online? I took y'all over a little bit. I'm sorry. What did she say? Prison Break is good as well. Also the show 24. Yeah, Prison Break 24. I was in there when those were coming on live. I was in there. I'm just like that though. I'll watch a series and I won't finish it, and I'll wait like 5 years to watch it. So I did that with Dexter. I did that with Breaking Bad. Yeah. Any questions? Nothing? Yeah, them phones, man, they're a demon. Them phones, that's becoming, electronics and social media are becoming the biggest addictions, man. They find a way to get you I mean, come on, the watch the watch is a tablet. The watch is a phone now. It's not bad enough you got a phone, now you got a tablet, and then you got the watch to sync it all up, and everything's wireless. I'm guilty. I mean, look at me. Phone, tablet, yeah. Anyway, we definitely want to thank y'all for joining us, everybody online. Again, appreciate the positivity. I mean, there's no question, so we will be back here tomorrow. We will be back here tomorrow for Shabbat morning class, prayers, and the reading. All right, so let's go ahead and salute them and say shalom. Shalom. And we'll be back here tomorrow.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
We changed the truth for God into a lie. In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yasha.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
We changed the truth for God into a lie. In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yasha.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
We changed the truth for God into a lie. In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all
Hebrew
about the
Israelites,
Most High. It's all
Kwam
about
Yasha.
Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
We changed the truth for God into a lie. In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all
Hebrew
about the
Israelites,
Most High. It's all
Kwam
about
Yasha.
Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yashala.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yashala.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all
Hebrew
about the
Israelites,
Most High. It's all
Kwam
about
Yashala.
Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all
Hebrew
about the
Israelites, Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. Hebrew Israelites. Kwam Yashala. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites. Kwam Yashala.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie. Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites. Kwam Yashala.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie. Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yasha.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all
Hebrew
about the
Israelites,
Most High. It's all
Kwam
about
Yasha.
Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all
Hebrew
about the
Israelites,
Most High. It's all
Kwam
about
Yasha.
Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all
Hebrew
about the
Israelites,
Most High. It's all
Kwam
about
Yasha.
Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, it's Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias.
And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High, it's all about the